Tech. Facing third down and long. Wilson back to pass. Under pressure. Gets the ball away. Throwing across the middle. Intercepted by Roosevelt. Inside the 15. Recurring to the 20. To the 25. He's got room to work with. To the 40. Go to 45. The 50. Cross midfield. Inside the killing territory. To the 25. The 20. The 10. The 5. Touchdown Roosevelt. And listen to this crowd, Joe. We wish Rose the best of luck at Delaware State College in his basketball career. Bird back to pass from out of the pocket. Intercepted by the Indians. Cross the 45, the 50, the 40, the 30, the 25, the 20, the 10. Touchdown, Anacostia High School. You can kiss this baby goodbye.
Finishing his fifth season at Dunbar, head coach John Nunn, and the rest of the West Division champion Dunbar, Crimson Tide.
And then there were two. Happy Thanksgiving, ladies and gentlemen, and thanks for tuning in to DCPS Cable 48 for Shell Shock Productions' continuing coverage of the 1992 DCI AA football season. Today, it's the Turkey Bowl from William H. Green Stadium on the campus of Howard University. It's the Anacostia Indians taking on the Dunbar Crimson Tide. Hello, everybody. I'm Shelly Bowers Jr. This is week number 14 of Shell Shock Productions' 1992 DCI AA football game of the week. And today it's the climax, the championship game, pitting two teams coming from, again, two different ends of the spectrum, if you want to look at it like that. We've got Anacostia coming into today's ball game, having won two straight East Division titles. and they've been to the championship game 4 of the last 5 games. And my colleague Eddie Martin, coach, anytime you put Willie Stewart in the championship game, you can best bet that he won't take any prisoners.
Well, last week, well, before I say anything, Shelley, it's nice to work with you again this season. And like I say, it's the last game, and we're looking forward to having a good one here between Anacostia and Dunbar. Last week, Gus and I had a discussion about this, and I suggested, or whatever, to Gus that if Willie Stewart is close to you in the 4th quarter, you have lost the ball game. He's an excellent coach. He's been here before. He knows the ropes. He's almost like he knows the way this field is leaning and which way the water's going to run off. He's been here so much, it's like home to him. On the other hand, you have Coach John Nunn over at Dunbar. And, you know, and things just sort of been going good for Dunbar here, but the season's been good.
You're talking about things going well for Dunbar. The Crimson Tide, this is their first appearance in the championship game since 1983. And the last team they played in the championship game, these same Anacostia Indians. We'll elaborate about more of today's ball game, but right now we've got Robin Brown Sugar Williams, who will perform our national anthem for us. Take a look and listen to DC's own Sugar Williams. Washington, D.C.'s very own Robin Brown Sugar Williams performing the national anthem here at William H. Green Stadium on the campus of Howard University. Boy, I tell you, Coach, I've been watching Robin grow up. I met her quite a few years ago, and she's a very talented young lady, and we're just elated to call her one of our own.
Well, you know, she can sing the national anthem like none other, so and she's become a household word in the area, household name, I should say, in the area, and she's a very talented person.
You get a good look at Robin Williams coming off the field, looking very lovely, I may add, today. There you see her father there, Mr. Williams, congratulating her on the job well done as usual. And any minute now, we will have the opening kick between the Crimson Tide of Dunbar, the Indians of Anacostia. Anacostia won the East Division hands down. As far as the Crimson Tide are concerned, they finished in a 3-way tie for first place. They were co-divisional champions with Cardoza and Wilson. The Crimson Tide were the #1 seed going into the playoffs. They upended Ballou 41-12. Anacostia had a stingent Cardoza team to face in their playoff game, and they got by the Clerks by a score of 20-6, and that brings us to where we are today. As you see the captains from both teams out on the field for the toss of the coin.
Shelley, you know, you talked about these prospective teams getting here, and you said earlier that Dunbar hadn't been here since 1983, and the same 2 teams are back here again today. Looking for a lot of fireworks. One thing I'm happy about, the rain has stopped, and earlier it was raining, and and I was a little concerned with the fans coming out, being Turkey Day and all. They could stay home and eat some turkey and watch the game later on when it's rebroadcast. But happy that the skies are cleared up and it's a great day for football. So it's just a good day. The good thing we're on AstroTurf. It looks great. There's no mud, so hopefully things can work out.
Speaking of rain, who will that benefit more? Of course, we know that Anacostia has got the run and shoot offense that they've been touting about for the last couple of years. Is that going to slow down the Indians any, or is that just not going to be too much of a factor at all?
Shelly, I don't think it'll be too much of a factor, simply because they're playing on AstroTurf, and AstroTurf, as you know, it dries out, and who has the faster team is going to continue to be the faster team, because the field, this field at Howard University, it drains real well, I should say, and you know, there's really no advantage. It's just who's going to come out and take control of this game and win it.
Well, we were walking around here before they opened the gates to everybody else, and it was raining, and I was having a hard time keeping my footing in the bleachers. So I know it's going to be even tougher on the field.
That doesn't even compute, Charlie, simply because the bleachers are made of aluminum. And you can break your neck easily on those. But out there on that field, that carpet sort of grabs things. And you might hit a few slippery spots out there. But overall, I think the field looks great. And it drains real well. And I had an opportunity to be down there. And I think it's going to be an excellent day for football.
All right, so they had the toss. And I'm not sure who won it. But we will find out in one hot second.
It was won by Dunbar. Dunbar won it.
Everybody in the press box is at it all the same time. Dunbar. Thanks. I think we know now that Dunbar. I think Dunbar won it, Coach.
I believe that's correct.
So the Crimson Tide wearing their home black jerseys. And they'll be defending the south end zone. The Indians are wearing their visiting white jerseys with blue pants, and they'll be kicking off defending the north end zone. What are the key matchups in this ball game, Coach? Who are the key personnel for both teams?
Well, we look at, you can't get around the Keith Davis at Anacostia, the quarterback. You know, he's the leader of this team. They're talking about him going in playing basketball, and 12 out of the 12 football players on Anacostia, the football team, is waiting to go play basketball. Keith is the leader of this team. He also has a nice receiver, Michael Anderson. Michael Anderson is 5'9", 165 pounds. He's a wide receiver. He's a junior. And again, in the playoffs, he caught 2 touchdowns to lead this Anacostia team over Cardozo. And on the other side, you can't get by it simply because you have Jason Hinton at quarterback. He's 6'2", 160 pounds. And I'm going to tell you something. You cannot talk about Dunbar without talking about Rodney McDaniels. He is an excellent running back. He's 5'7", 155 pounds, and he's tough. And the ball game is on the way.
And we are underway. Nathaniel Brown, number 21 for the Crimson Tide, returns it across the 25. Is stacked up at about the 27. And they'll spot it around they'll say his forward progress got him out to the 31. It'll be 1st and 10 Dunbar at their own 31-yard line. Starting quarterback for the Crimson Tide, number 1, John Lee. He's a 6'3", 160-pound sophomore, only a 10th grader. And so he'll be back for 2 more years.
Bet your life that McDaniels will get this ball.
And before we can even snap the ball, we have a flag on the play.
Talking about McDaniels, Shelley, you know, there's an article in the paper yesterday, and there was a great article on him on Monday. And if the viewers have an opportunity to look at the Washington Post, that article was real good. It talked about his size and heart and how he's been playing all year. And let's face it, he's the best running back that we had in a long time. He's well over 1,000 yards. He had 9 games over 100 yards. And he told us in the paper yesterday that he will get over 100 yards today. So we're looking forward to seeing that.
1st and 15 after the 5-yard penalty. Lee goes up top early, throws across the middle, and it's incomplete. Looked like he was looking for number 44, Jeffrey Myers, and he just overthrew him just a tad. It'll be 2nd down and 15.
Well, that's right there on that note. It gives you a little bit about what's going to happen, simply because Dunbar, as you know, is a running team with McDaniels, but he opened up with a play action, and that might send a signal over there to Anacostia and Willie Stewart, be on the lookout.
2nd down and 15 for the Crimson Tide. Ball is spotted at their own 26-yard line. This time Lee does put the ball on the ground. He's looking for number 20, and that is Rodney McDaniel. McDaniel breaking tackle, still on his feet. He's off to the races. Cross midfield.
He is unbelievable. He's unbelievable.
Slips, still on his feet.
He is unbelievable.
Did you believe this?
He is unbelievable.
Oh, my goodness.
He is unbelievable. He is simply unbelievable. Shelly, I just got through saying this kid told us yesterday when he would score well over 100 yards. As we know, he's just ran a 75-yard run, and he is in the end zone after being hit 5 times in the backfield, grabbed, wrapped up, still break loose. This kid, when I talked to him last week over at Ballou, he was our player of the game, and he simply said to me, I said, how is a little guy like you being so tough? He said, size is not important. I can get the job done. I'm tough as anybody, and it's working out. That was an excellent run by McDaniels, and we can see right now he probably will go well over 100 yards for the day.
They say big things come in little packages. Boy, that's a big package right there. He said he gets 100 yards a game. Already he's got 74, and we haven't even had a first play from scrimmage yet.
Shelly, last week when we saw him play against over at Ballou, when they were playing against Ballou, what he did was he ran over 2 guys in the end zone to get a touchdown. Now, I was very impressed with that, and then when I had a chance to interview him, I said, look, you're too small to try to run over these guys. He said, he looked me in the eyes straight, and he said, look, I'm tough. I got to prove that I'm tough. The guys always been on me because I'm small. He said, I got just as much heart as anybody. And on that particular play, we see exactly what McDaniels is talking about. That's an excellent play, and we see why he's an all-Met running back.
Jamali Phillips adds the point after touchdown, and our score, before anybody can get situated here at Green Stadium, is Dunbar 7, Anacostia 0, with 11:05 remaining in the first period.
Well, we said earlier that Dunbar came out with a pass on a play-action pass on the opening play, and that was going to send a message to Anacostia. Evidently, Anacostia didn't heed that message. Come right back, get the ball to McDaniels. They didn't wrap him up, and McDaniels goes 74 yards on a nice cutback down on the 20-yard line to get into the end zone.
So as you get a good look at the Crimson Tide crowd here on the home side of the stadium come to life. Dunbar will now kick off the Anacostia, and the Indians will have their chance to make a big play.
I'm telling you, this little guy, like you say, Shelly, big things come in small packages. You cannot arm tackle this guy because he's very strong. And when you look at him, he doesn't look that big. You know, you go down, you talk to him, he look like a boys club running back, you know, but then you put him in the black and red, and all of a sudden you've created a monster. And he's an excellent football player, and he's a very exciting guy.
Here comes Phillips with the ensuing kickoff. Phillips getting instructions from the side. All right, here he comes with the kick. Good kick.
Excellent kick.
Drives him into the end zone. It's going to be a touchback. 1st and 10, Anacostia from their own 20-yard line.
As we saw in the playoffs also, that the team that kept the momentum and jumped on the other team first and maintained that was very victorious. So we'll see Dunbar's come out here in a big rush, and we're going to see how this can go and if they can continue this pace up and see exactly what happened here. I know it's a big shock to Anacostia because I know Willie Stewart, on the other hand, he talks about basic fundamental football, and that is tackling. And McDaniel broke 4 or 5 tackles back there to go 74 yards. 1st
and 10, Anacostia from their own 20, starting QB for the Indians, number 10, Keith Davis. He's a 6'3", 173-pound senior on his way to VCU next year. Davis out of the shotgun, looking to go up top. Going across the middle, going for all the marbles. He's looking for number 7, and that's Michael Anderson. Anderson trips and falls. No flags. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
Well, like I said earlier, before the game started, Michael Anderson was the big gun last week against Cardozo. He was well over 100 yards, 125 yards on something like 8 receptions, and he caught 2 touchdowns. So that's one of Keith Davis's main guys that he wanted to go to. And we still haven't seen one of the big guys over there at Dunbar, and that was Braxton. Braxton hasn't touched the ball yet, and Braxton is
they haven't had the ball yet, man.
Had it one time, and he was 74 yards.
That was it.
But Braxton also, the point I was going to try to make, Braxton and McDaniels play defense. Braxton is defensive end, and McDaniels is also a cornerback. So, you know, those guys put in full time. 2nd
down and 10 for the Indians from their own 20. Again, Davis out of the shotgun. This time, throws out of the flat to the far side, and they're going to rule it complete. This time he hits Anderson, good for about 3 yards. It'll be 2nd down and 7.
The the other guy last week that did real well for Anacostia was Michael Weatherspoon. He's 6'4", 180 pounds. He's a senior, but he's a big, lanky guy, and he can catch the ball also. We'll try to look and see what happens to him today also.
Just under 10.5 remaining in the first period. Dunbar up 7-0 in case you're just tuning in. Third down and about 7 for the Indians in their first possession of the ball game. Again, Davis, this time looking to the near side, out of the shotgun, gets the ball away. He's got a man open. It is complete, cross the 45. On the reception for the Indians is number 4, Derek Davis. Davis comes up with a first down for Anacostia.
You know, that time the defensive end got caught inside. Had they contained him, possibly Keith would have been caught. But they got hooked inside, and Davis got on the outside of him and threw that ball out there. And Davis made an excellent catch.
Our public announcer, Gary Williams, is saying that pass completion was good for 21 yards. We'll buy that. It'll be 1st and 10, Anacostia, from their own 47-yard line. This time, Davis sends his trees to the right side. Davis looking to the right. Davis under pressure. He loses one tackler. Now he's off to the races. Trying to turn the corner and just slides down across the 50-yard line for a pickup of about 4 yards. It'll be 2nd down and about 6.
That time he ran trips right, and they ran that play also in the playoffs. And what he did is what he liked to do on that play is send the 2 inside guys down and bring the far guy maybe 8 yards and across. That time it was covered real well, and he had a lot of pressure. He had to get out of the pocket.
2nd down and 6 coming up for Anacostia as they now have the ball in Dunbar territory. It's at the Crimson Tide 49. Davis again puts the ball in the air. It is complete inside the 30, then down to about the 20-yard line. Fumble on the play, still loose. Who has it? Was he in bounds?
Dunbar recovered it.
No,
they said no.
Anacostia maintains possession. Wait a minute. Yes, they're saying Dunbar will Anacostia maintains possession. It'll be 1st and 10, Anacostia, at about the Dunbar 17-yard line.
That ball was completed to Larry Towns. He's 6'4", 190 pounds. He's also the backup quarterback, and that time he was in the tight end position. It was simply slant pattern to the tight end down the heart of the field, and he fumbled that ball on the end. He's a big guy now. Like I said, he's 6'4", 190 pounds, and that was an excellent pass by Keith Davis.
Evidently, the ball must have gotten out of bounds before the Crimson Tide could recover it. Big break for the Indians. They have it 1st and 10 at the Dunbar 17-yard line. This time, for the first time, Davis doesn't line up in a shotgun.
He's looking for Michael Anderson. He can't find him.
He's under pressure. Davis just throws the ball to the ground, takes a late hit, and here comes your flag. Intentional grounding is going to be called against Anacostia.
You know, that's sometimes where the inexperience comes in, because he had a man in the end zone. Had he thrown the ball through the end zone, it wouldn't have been an intentional ground, but instead he threw the ball in the ground. It looked like he got hooked in his hand or something, but evidently it doesn't make any difference. It's still intentional grounding. But on the plays like that, had he thrown it through the end zone, they wouldn't have lost the yardage.
It'll be 2nd down and 15. That's a loss of down for the Indians. And they're going to spot the ball at the Dunbar 21. They put the ball on the ground. Their first draw play goes to number 22, James Taylor. Taylor tries to turn the near side corner. He gets close back to the original line of scrimmage. It'll be 3rd down and about 10.
Maybe this is a year to scats back, because James Taylor is just 5'9", 165 pounds. And on the other hand, can't talk enough about Rodney McDaniels, the big play guy. And if you missed it, just tuning in, we had Rodney McDaniels go 74 yards on the opening carry for a touchdown for Dunbar Crimson Tide. 3rd down and 10 for the Indians. Davis out of the shotgun, looking to the far side. Throws in traffic, deflected once, twice, and then falls to the ground, incomplete for the Crimson Tide defending. Number 15, Sean Leak, came up with a deflection. That's twice that they tried that play, and evidently Dunbar must have scouted that play pretty good, because that is trips right, and they try to bring the far guy underneath, and exactly what they did, and Dunbar played that excellently. It'll be 4th down and 10 for Anacostia. They'll go for it with the ball spotted at the Dunbar
17-yard line. Davis looking to his right, going to the end zone. He's got a man open and overthrows him into the receiver, number 12, Michael Powell, one of his trees. But this time he couldn't connect with the branch. And the ball will go over on downs to the Crimson Tide, 1st and 10 from the Dunbar 17-yard line.
Well, so far this game is turning out to be like it was billed to be all during the week. Anacostia, as you know, they come out and they run and shoot and they throw the football, and Dunbar is not conservative, but they do have a top-notch running game, and the main man in there is number 20, Rodney McDaniel.
1st and 10 for John Lee and his Crimson Tide, their second possession of the ball game. Actually, it's their second possession of the ball game. Lee puts the ball on the ground, and it's good for about, well, actually they're going to say no gain. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
And that carry was by number 49. That was Braxton, Maurice Braxton, the other big guy, and he's a true fullback. You know, we watched these teams for a long time, and you have a lot of scat backs in there, and you put them in fullback positions, but Braxton is truly a fullback at 6'2", 240 pounds.
2nd down and 10 for Dunbar, out of the eye. Lee makes his call. Lee hands off to the deep back. That's McDaniel. McDaniel is hit hard across the 25-yard line and is brought down, but not before he picks up the 1st down, I'm sure.
You know, Shelley, there's a lot of times people confuse quickness with speed. Now, McDaniel may not possess the great foot speed, but he's extremely quick. And you need that quickness for that burst to get up through there. And by the time he gets up through there, those other guys trying to find him, he's off to the races. And you can see down here when he on 20 on the first play, when he almost looked like he ran out of gas, but that quickness got him out of there. And as we can see, he just exploded through there before he was necktied.
And I stand to be corrected. That was not Maurice Braxton. That was Rodney McDaniel, as Coach said on the last carry. He did get the 1st down. It'll be 1st and 10 Dunbar with the ball spotted at their own 27-yard line. Again out of the eye, Lee making his call. Lee again hands off to the deep back. That's McDaniel. McDaniel breaks one tackle, but is brought down after a gain of about 3 or 4. He's 2nd down and about, well, let's say a short 6.
You know, we look at it and we say sooner or later there's going to have to be a face mask on Anacostia against McDaniels, because he's such a small guy and they're tackling him high and they're grabbing him up around his head. You know, before we go too far, we also have to say congratulations to Ballou and Cardozo for being in the inaugural playoff game in the DCIAA, the two-play playoff system.
Let's call it 2nd down and 5 for Lee and his Crimson Tide. And now Dunbar wants to call the TO with 5:58 remaining in the first period. You know, Coach, I was doing my homework last night. Found something quite interesting. Dunbar is the only team in the West that has not won the city title yet.
Well, they have won in since the new conception of DCIAA, because Luther Banner won several titles down at Dunbar. So when Cornelius Green was there and he was doing a lot of stuff, that was back in the 80s, 70s, but we can we're going to get our statistician to check it for us. But Dunbar won several titles with Luther.
I didn't know we had a statistician.
Oh, yeah.
We just get people as we go along, huh? Yeah, I thought I was right. Yeah. I did my homework last night, Coach.
Well, they went there 4 times and they lost 4 times.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought Luther Banner won one down at Dunbar, but evidently not. Luther, I'm giving you credit, and if you're listening, it's not to say that you weren't a great coach, because you were. And but big boy, you didn't win them championships. But that doesn't mean a thing.
After the TO, it's going to be 2nd down and 5 for the Crimson Tide. Same formation. Lee looking to go up top. Good blocking up front. Lee going for all the marbles. He's got a man wide open. Tip, caught, inside the
Touchdown.
Touchdown, Dunbar. Nakia Mason makes the score 13-0 Dunbar. What a play. And look at the Dunbar players running down.
Hey, I'm telling you, we're talking about Anacostia with the run and shoot and the big gun offense. It looks like that tide has turned in the first quarter of today's game with 5 minutes and 47 seconds left. Nakia Mason goes 60 yards for a touchdown with a pass from John Lee, the 6'3", 160-pound quarterback. Boy, what a big play. 68-yard touchdown by Mason from John Lee. Excellent play, big play. We're having a great time here today. I'm getting excited. I want to go put my stuff on. I want to go.
And they fake the extra point. They go for 2, and they get it. Boy, when you're hot, you're hot.
Well, Coach, I think what you said was when you said that Dunbar was the only team in the West that has not won a title, I think Coach John Nunn heard you, and he wanted to put the record straight, and he wanted to go after one today.
15-0, 5:47 left in the first period. And, Coach, I got to be honest with you. Everybody that I talked to in the week prior to this championship game, nobody gave Dunbar a chance. Are you surprised at the way they're playing today?
Listen at this. I am not surprised simply because John Nunn is an excellent coach. This team that Coach Nunn has put together down at Dunbar has come a long way. They come from a 1-0 record to a 2-something, and now they're in the playoff. Coach John Nunn has done at Dunbar the same thing that Coach Fleming did over at Wilson. That is build a program. And once you start building a program and you become consistent, then you don't deal with quick fixes for things. You have something that's going to last for a while, and he has done an excellent job down there. As you know, this game is not over because Willie Stewart is a dean of coaches, and 15 points is just not enough to beat Willie Stewart, especially in the first quarter with 3 quarters to go.
Well, anytime you got a run and shoot offense, anytime the other team has a run and shoot offense, no lead is comfortable.
Well, 2 things that can happen. You can get a lot of mistakes and a lot of interceptions, or you can get a lot of points. So we're going to wait and see what happens today.
Here comes Phillips with the ensuing kickoff once again. Again, he sends it deep. Inside the 5. Return from 1 yard deep in the end zone. Cross the 20. And then finally brought down at the 25 for the Indians on the return.
Now, you know something? I saw his foot was in the end zone, and I thought once in high school, if you were in the end zone to catch the ball, they would not let you run out.
Well, James Taylor.
That ball was supposed to have been down in the end zone and placed on the 20, simply because that is a high school safety rule that they put in, so he won't have to run the ball out. Am I correct, Coach?
That was James Taylor on the return for the Indians, so it'll be 1st and 10, Anacostia, with the ball spotted at their own 20-yard line.
Well, we happen to have the Commissioner of Football, Bill Ingram, up here.
Back to pass. Davis gets the pass away. It's complete to the far side. That is James Taylor again. Taylor is going to get about 6 or 7 yards to be 2nd down and short.
And it was my understanding that once he's in the end zone, you can't run it out. Or give us the correct.
He caught the ball in the field of play, and the player took it into the end zone. Had the kick going in, it would have been no question. It would have been a touchback. But he caught the ball before it went into the end zone.
In other words, the momentum
into the end zone.
Momentum carried him back.
That's right. That's why it's not a touchback.
Well, we just got it from the expert here, the Commissioner of Officials, Mr. James Ingram, and we appreciate having him up here in the box with us today. And there you have it.
2nd down and about 4 coming up for the Indians. Davis again out of the shotgun formation. Davis under heavy pressure, caught from the shirt sleeve, fumbles the ball, picked up by Dunbar, and they're going to say no. No, one official says he was down, the other one is saying touchdown. They're going to bring this back. They're going to say Davis was down at the 21-yard line. I'm sorry, at the 21-yard line.
Yeah, well, you know, sometimes you can get excited, but one rule we have to always remember, the ground cannot cause a fumble. And that's what happened. He was slung to the ground, hit the ground, the ball popped out. So that was a correct call. That was a correct call, given the ball hitting the ground and bouncing out like that.
Well, I don't know. We can't say it's a correct call because we don't know exactly what they're going to call. They're still discussing the situation. One official said touchdown. Another official said that Anacostia, Keith Davis was down. And the head official was the one, he's waving off the flag. The head official was the one that said Davis was down. The other official here had ruled it was a touchdown for
All that's academic because Davis was down. They're giving Anacostia the ball back. So that's academic. There's no touchdown. Anacostia still has the ball.
Whenever in doubt, always watch the guy in the white cap. He's the one that has the final say. So he was the one that said that Davis was down.
That's what I was saying. Well, he was down.
And it'll be third down and about 13 after a loss of about 6 or 7 yards. Davis again under heavy pressure. Eludes one tackler and is hit from behind. Ball is loose.
That's an incomplete pass.
Now that is a good call.
The last call was a good call. I'm looking right at it. He slung him around. He hit the ground. The ball bounced out. That was not a fumble. The ground can't cause a fumble. That's as simple as that.
The case, the argument in this case is that his arm was going forward. That's why it's ruled an incomplete pass.
Well, it's fourth down, and whatever the calls are down there, Dunbar is applying a little pressure to Anacostia, and he's taking the main weapon away from Anacostia, and that is the pass. So if they continue to put the pressure on Keith Davis like that, it's going to be a long day for the Indians of Anacostia.
The Indians are forced to punt, and now Anacostia is counting, make sure they don't have enough players, too many players, and now Dunbar is calling the TO. And that's the Crimson Tide's second time out of the half.
That's because they only have 10 men on the field. There's 11. No, that's the other 44 is going on now. They only had 10 men on the field. 44 is just running out.
So Dunbar, which has really put a surprise on everybody here today. Well, some people thought that Dunbar would have some of the butterflies, seeing how none of the kids playing for Dunbar has been to a city title game. As a matter of fact, the school itself hasn't been to a city title game in 9 years. They have never won a city title game. And now all of a sudden, they're showing that they are very confident. Everybody's been hyping up Anacostia. And right now, the Indians find themselves down by 15 in a punting situation, deep in their own territory. And we're not even in the second period yet.
Well, I had an opportunity this summer to talk to the offensive line coach, Coach Sammy Ware. He's up here in the booth with us today, and he didn't want to tell me anything. I asked him about what Dunbar was going to look like going in, and he just kept mum about the whole thing. But he knew something, evidently, because they're here today.
Here's the punt by the Indians. Short kick, takes a neutral bounce. Nobody's going to touch it, and it will die at the 37-yard line. Dunbar will have it first and 10 in excellent field position.
Shelley, you was talking about Dunbar having the butterflies. I think Anacostia look like they have the butterflies right now. They are down 15 points with 4 minutes and 25 seconds remaining in the first quarter, and their backs are up against the wall right now.
Dunbar will start first and 10 at the Anacostia 37-yard line.
So it'll be first and 10 Dunbar from the Anacostia 37-yard line. John Lee, your quarterback for the Crimson Tide. He's got receivers split on each side. Lee puts the ball on the ground to his deep back. Trying to turn the corner here on the near side. That is McDaniel. McDaniel is caught from the shoulders after a gain of about a deuce. It'll be second down and long.
You know, I'm just so amazed by this guy, man. You know, like I said, last week he was our player of the game in the playoffs, and we had an opportunity to interview and talk to him, and he's just so straightforward and so conscious of what's going on, and he's a great football player. And he's an excellent guy, you know, and I'm sure Coach John Nunn is in heaven having him on his team.
They're going to give McDaniel about 3 for his troubles. Call it second down and 7 from about the Anacostia 34-yard line. Lee trying to go up top. Lee, good pressure, good protection. He gets the ball away. It's incomplete. Looked like he was looking for McDaniel. And, or no, I'm sorry. That was
Mason, number 28.
Number 28.
That was Mason.
Nakia Mason. And Mason, for some reason, didn't appear to jump or go for the ball as thoroughly as one would think he should have. And it will be third down and 7 for Dunbar.
Well, I go back to say I'm happy that the weather cleared up, and there's a lot of fans out here today, and And this is a great day. Every Thanksgiving, we get a big crowd. And I was just happy to see it cleared up so we can get these people out here.
Talking about weather, this is the warmest city title game we've had in a while. They put the ball on the ground to McDaniel. McDaniel, good ankle tackle by the Indians. Number 56.
Jimmy Stubbs.
Jimmy Stubbs. Big defensive play for Anacostia.
Stubbs is a big guy. He's 6'2", 200 pounds, and he's a senior. So maybe if Coach up at Howard University,
Steve Wilson.
He got me mumbling here. Coach Steve Wilson is in the audience. I'm sure he is. He can be watching some of these guys, and hopefully he can recruit them and bring them up to Howard.
Loss of 3 on a play. Call it 4th down and a short 7 for Dunbar. They are not in a punting formation, so it appears they will be going for it. Split receivers to each side for John Lee. Lee, under pressure from the blind side, gets the pass away. It is complete across the middle and is brought down inside the 30, but he's going to be well shy of a first down. On the reception for the Crimson Tide is Nathaniel Brown, but Brown, I don't believe, is going to get the first down.
It'll be closer to bring up 4th and 2. And speaking about...
That was 4th down. The ball will go over on downs to the Indians. 1st and 10, Anacostia.
And speaking of Dunbar and Howard University, Steve Wilson, he had one of the great defensive backs up here, Neil Downing, and he's alumnus of Dunbar. And maybe he's looking for some more guys like that, because Downing is approaching the end of his career up here at Howard, and he's a fine defensive back.
I was talking to Milton Muya, the kicker for Howard University, last week at the Delaware State game, and he was psyched when he found out that Dunbar was in the city title game. Of course, you know he was a place kicker for the Crimson Tide during his career. 1:30 left in the first period. Keith Davis puts the ball on the ground for the Indians.
They give us to James Taylor. He's 5'9", 165 pounds. And he stopped after the gain of 3.
They won't even give him that much, though. They'll only give him about 1.5 yards, 2 at the most. 2nd down and 8 coming up for Anacostia. Coming up on exactly 1 minute remaining in the first period. Davis hands off to the deep back. That's Taylor. Taylor has his first down and more across the 40-yard line. Nice play for the Indians.
Well, I'll tell you, this may wind up being a battle of the Smurfs. Taylor's 5'9", and McDaniels is 5'7", and they're carrying their respective teams right now. And so far, it's been a well of a ball game with 33 seconds left in the first quarter.
1st and 10, Anacostia. They're going to spot the ball just inside the 40-yard line. Just under a half minute remaining in the initial period. Davis out of the shotgun. High snap. Davis under pressure, gets the ball away, and is tipped by the Crimson's Tide, Thaddeus Singletary, number 27.
You know, I was
2nd down and 10.
I was looking down on the field, and I saw number 79 sprint off the field, and I thought he was like a linebacker or something. I looked down, and his name is Darker Bornes, pronounce his last name, but he's 6'2", 305 pounds, sprinting off the field like that. I'm impressed.
That's Dakar Boynes that coach is referring to. 2nd down and 10 for the Indians from their own 39-yard line. Davis directing traffic. Davis going across the middle, intercepted by the Crimson Tide. Number 45, Ashad Cherry, fumble, and it may be recovered by Anacostia.
Anacostia gets the ball back.
They do. No, they're saying Dunbar. Wait, let's see how they sort it out. One official says one way, the other official says the other way.
I think Anacostia got that ball back.
See how they umpire here, and we'll see who has the ball. Stay tight there, Joe. We'll see, so we can take a look at who comes up with the ball. They're still umpiring.
I think Anacostia got that ball back.
Dunbar player has the ball, but who are they going to give it to? And the good guy in the white cap is having his conference, giving it back to Anacostia.
I told you Anacostia got that ball because when he fumbled at 45 from Dunbar, he fumbled that ball, Cherry. A man came right underneath that unidentified Anacostia ball player and scooped it right off the ground.
That That was Ashad Cherry on the fumble, on the interception for the Crimson Tide, but the fumble recovered by the Indians, and that is the end of the first period with the score, Dunbar 15 and Anacostia 0. Keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, at the conclusion of today's ball game, as we do at each ball game, we will be selecting the most valuable player from the winning school, at which time we will have for them a WKYS sweatshirt. Of course, normally we give out t-shirts, but since we're close to winter, we figured we'd do something different this time and kick out a sweatshirt for a change. Thanks to John Mack at the KISS promotional department. All right, we're set to start the second period. Anacostia will have the ball. 3rd down and 10. No, it should be 1st and 10. Shouldn't it? It should be 1st and 10. And now they're switching. Okay, now they got the yard markers right. 1st and 10, Anacostia from their own 49-yard line. Davis looking to go up top. He's going for all the marbles to the far side. Got a man. Incomplete. Intended receiver for the Indians on a diving attempt was Anderson, and defending for the Crimson Tide was Nathaniel Brown.
You know, they ran that crossing pattern with number 1 from Anacostia, Larry Towns, coming across in the inside. And I think they were looking more to that than to watch the other guy, number 7, Anderson, going down the sideline. I'm looking for him to really come back to Larry Towns down the middle because he's open. Number 3 for Dunbar, Dwayne Sheffer, he's getting out of there at the single safety.
2nd down and 10 for the Indians. They put a little pitch here to the far side, and it's good for about 5 yards. That is James Taylor on the carry for the Indians. So it'll be 3rd down and short.
That was a bone-crushing tackle, Shelley, and let me tell you who made the tackle.
It was
number 20, Rodney McDaniels, the guy who went 74 yards on the opening run and who has over 1,400 yards for the Clemson Tide in rushing this year, and undoubtedly an all-Met running back.
3rd down and a long 4 coming up for the Indians. Stacked here to the near side. Out of the shotgun, Davis looking to the near side. Little slant pattern is complete for the 1st down inside the 40-yard line on a reception. And that is number 5, Jeff Evans.
You know, we watched Anacostia down last week, and Keith Davis got cranked up, and he started throwing that football, and Dunbar want to stay on top of him if they're going to have a chance, because Keith Davis can throw the football, and he's an excellent basketball player, by the way, a point guard on Anacostia's basketball team. So, talking to him, he doesn't know what sport he want to go into. He's favoring basketball, though, so, you know, we'll see what happens when the season opens in a few weeks.
We have an official timeout. Keith Davis is going to go for the basketball scholarship at Virginia Commonwealth University, and his fellow teammate Michael Powell is going to University of Virginia, my brother's alma mater, on a basketball scholarship as well. 1st down and 10 for the Indians from the Dunbar 38. And there are no flags. There appeared to be a false start. Wide open across the far side. Complete inside the 10, the 5. It'll be a touchdown. Anacostia, number 12, Michael Powell. So we just talked about Davis and Powell going into Virginia Commonwealth and Virginia respectively. There are no flags on the play. And it will be Dunbar 15, Anacostia 6. Everybody here in the press box is stunned that there are no flags. A lot of finger pointing down on the field on the Dunbar sideline, but as it stands now, Anacostia is back in this ball game, Coach.
Yeah, well, like I said before, you never can count Willie Stewart out anytime the game is still going, and especially in the 4th quarter when it's close. He always said if he's close, he should win the ball game.
The Indians are going for the 2-point conversion, and now Davis wants the TO. to discuss the situation on what play they should call.
You know, earlier they were talking about the matchups, and some of the matchups we're talking about is Dunbar small cornerbacks like McDaniels at 5'7", and the trees over at Anacostia. We have Larry Towns, he's 6'4", 190 pounds. Michael Powell is 6'2", 175 pounds. And Michael Weatherspoon, he's 6'4", 180 pounds. So you see those guys are pretty big, and going against those little 5'7" cornerbacks, they possess a great advantage. So that's one of the things that they would talk about in the course of the week. And of course, you know, you have Keith Davis throwing the football, so you have a great chance to have a lot of receptions with those guys. And I think that was the strength that they were talking about.
There you get a good look at the Anacostia huddle. With right in the middle of it is the DCIAA's version of Eddie Robinson, the living legend himself, Willie Stewart, the dean of coaching in the Inner High, now the DCIAA, going for a record 7th city championship. And now we have another stoppage of play before the Indians can get set.
Like I was saying earlier, didn't get a chance to talk about Dunbar defensive backs. And like we have Sean Leaks, 5'8", Rodney McDaniels, 5'7", and at the single safety, Dwayne Schaefer, he's 5'10". So you can see the vast difference in height. Here comes Davis
rolling to his left. Pumps once, gets the pass away, wide open, dropped. Intended receiver was number 5, that's Jeff Evans, who came up with the big reception a few minutes ago. So the score will stand at 15-6 Dunbar, with 10:19 remaining in the first half.
Shelley, several things happened on that play. We had a breakdown in coverage because nobody covered number 5, Evans, when he went out there. Not only that, but Evans slipped down, and then we had Braxton, the defensive end. He was dropping out on the corner to cover, try to get there. It is just unfortunate that Davis overthrew him because actually he had more than enough time to throw that ball. Nobody was covering him. McDaniels got hooked in the inside. Braxton couldn't get out. He fell down, and the ball went over his head. So yeah, that should have been a completed pass easily.
As far as the Indians are concerned, though, to be optimistic, at least they're on the scoreboard as they have drawn to within 9.
Yeah, the main thing is you want Dunbar to not get shaken by Anacostia coming back. They want to keep their cool heads and not get excited about things, and have the coaches to calm them down and correct those little mistakes and go and try to get this thing done.
That is if you're on the Dunbar side.
And if you're on the Anacostia side.
If you're on the Anacostia side, you want to. That was well in time to break up that momentum that Dunbar has been building ever since the opening kick.
And remember, when you watch Willie Stewart, he very rarely get excited on that sideline. And he looked like he's excited sometimes, but he's cool and always in control.
Here's the ensuing kickoff by the Indians, fielded at the 7-yard line. That's Brown on the return. Brown gets across the 25, close to the 30, and he'll be tackled at about the 30-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 Dunbar at their own 30.
You know, the other thing, too, we're talking about some big guys for Dunbar. I see going out on the field, number 99, and he's an offensive tackle, and we're talking about Calvin Pendergrass. He's 6'2", 360 pounds. And that's a lot of guys. And at the other tackle, you have number 79, and that's Boykin, and he's 6'2", 305 pounds. So, you know, those tackles are pretty big over there for Dunbar.
1st and 10, Dunbar from their own 30-yard line. Lee out of the eye, hands off to the up back. Big tackle by the front line of the Indians as Braxton tried to break it loose. Looked like there was a little daylight there, but it immediately was shut down after a pickup of a yard, Coach.
Yeah, well, you know, Braxton, he puts in a full time. He's a defensive end. He's also a starting fullback. Like I say, he's 6'2", 240 pounds. And a lot of times he leads the way for McDaniels. So he's like having an offensive guard in that backfield, and he's doing some good things over there. That particular time he just didn't get maybe a yard and a half or a yard, but that's nothing to say about his talents because he's an excellent football player. 2nd
down and 9 for the Crimson Tide from their own 31-yard line. Clock is running, just under 9 minutes remaining in the first half. Dunbar sitting on top of a 9-point lead. There's a run to the far side, and the runner, James Hemsley, slipped.
You know, and on the other side, Shelly, Anacostia defense, on the other hand, you have Eddie Williams over there, who's been with Willie Stewart for a host of years, and he's in charge. He's a defensive coordinator. always walking the sideline. Always, he's an excellent football coach, an excellent student of the game. He knows what's going on all the time. So you can believe that he's watching and his people are talking to him. He's going to try to settle this Dunbar thing down and take control of this thing. And as we can see right now, Dunbar is backing up rather than go forward. But we'll watch and see what happens.
That was number 77, Norman Johnson for the Indians, making sure that Hemsley didn't get too far on that last play. 3rd down and long for Dunbar. 3rd and about 17, according to the scoreboard. Lee, under pressure, gets the ball away. Incomplete. Looking for Jason Hinton. Across the flat. And it will be 4th down and a punting situation coming up for the Crimson Tide.
I think Lee had to throw that thing. He had some pressure coming down on from the backside. He felt it if he didn't see it, and he just let it go a little too soon to pull the string on it. But
and even if Hinton had come up with the reception, he was well shy of the 1st down.
Yeah.
Not a good pattern to run on 4th and 17. And the Crimson Tide will be forced to punt. The big fella, number 53, Jamali Phillips. He's 6 foot, 215 pounds. He'll do the kicking honors for the Crimson Tide.
Like the big kicker down in Miami. Dolphins.
Phillips under pressure, gets off a short kick, shanks it to the far side, and let's see where they spot it. At about the Dunbar 43-yard line, Anacostia will have excellent field position.
Remember, this game is going slowly, seeing because it's 7 minutes and 44 seconds remain in the 2nd quarter, and Dunbar is only down by a few. It's not a lot. The score is 15-6 in favor of the Crimson Tide. And remember, you're playing with Anacostia coach Willie Stewart. He's been here before, and in situations like this, you don't see a lot of panic out of him. It's just get the guys straight, keep them on track.
1st and 10, Anacostia from the Dunbar 43-yard line. Keith Davis making his call. Davis, good protection. Gets the ball away. He's got a man open, slips, incomplete. And again, that slippery artificial turf comes into play, Coach.
That's what we were talking about earlier. I was saying that it was that 9 times out of 10, the surface would be pretty good. You were saying that you walked in, it was a little slippery this morning. I guess you're right. In some spots, it's slippery out there. As we can see, several times guys have gone down out there. So I guess it's not draining like it I thought it was, but it looks great anyway.
To be quite frank with you, Coach, the field looks great, but to be honest with you, it's not in all that great shape. This OmniTurf surface has had its wear and tear since its inception back in the early 80s here at Howard University.
And the other thing, too, is usually we squeeze these down, and nobody squeezed it down this morning, so that might have something to do with it. They have a little thing that they go across to get the water out of it.
This little pitch here to the near side, and Dunbar does not buy it.
That was James Taylor. Matter of fact, he took a loss on that play.
Taylor's going to lose about a yard. It's going to be 3rd down and about 11.
Well, as we look around, we see Dunbar's band here along with Anacostia band. We also see, I think that's
Hine Junior High School.
Hine Junior High School. So we're looking forward to a good halftime show from these bands.
Speaking of halftime, this 1st half has gone quickly, Coach.
I don't know. It's 6 minutes and 54 seconds left. That 1st quarter looked like it was going to never be over. So.
And Anacostia is calling their 2nd TO of the half. Well, football season is just about over, so that means one thing. Basketball season is not too far behind. And we're going to try and get some basketball games on DCPS Cable 48 within the near future, so make sure you stay tuned with DCPS Cable 48 for basketball games with the DCIAA coming up this fall. As a matter of fact, head coach McLeese at Dunbar wanted me to remind everybody that Dunbar will be having a basketball tournament, preseason basketball tournament, December 4th and 5th, if I'm not mistaken. And once I find out the particulars, I'll pass them on to you.
Third annual Jamboree Workshop on Saturday, December 12th, sponsored by
Third down and 12 after the timeout for the Indians. Davis under pressure. Davis is being hugged, breaks away, goes the opposite direction, and it may have cost him. Davis tried to break free, and it may have cost him because he was going in the wrong way, and he did, as he lost about 4 or 5 yards, and it's going to be fourth down and about 16 for Anacostia.
And when Davis is getting in traffic like that, he should put that ball away because he still had it in one hand hanging out there. I'm surprised nobody took that ball out of his hand. So things like that we have to stay cognizant of.
Fourth down punting situation for the Indians. Good kick. Takes an Anacostia bounce inside the 10 and is down as he tried to lean over and place it down to about the 6. Good punt by the Indians. Good coverage by Anacostia. Downing the punt is number 7, Michael Anderson. It'll be first and 10, Dunbar. Let's see how they spot it. They're going to spot it at about the 9-yard line. First and 10, Dunbar from their own 9. First and 10, Dunbar from their own 9. Lee puts the ball on the ground. This is McDaniel. McDaniel breaking tackles, twisting and turning across the 20-yard line. Gets a first down for Crimson Tide at about the 22-yard line. First and 10, Dunbar.
Gain of 13 yards. First and 10 for Dunbar at their own 22-yard line.
Coming up on 5 minutes remaining in the first half. Lee out of the eye. Lee hands off to the deep back. McDaniel getting his number called again. McDaniel cuts inside, across the 30, fumbled the ball. Who has it? Anacostia says they have it. Dunbar says they have it. The good guy in the white cap hasn't said so yet. Now they're saying Dunbar maintains possession, and that'll be another first down for the Crimson Tide. Or no, he'll be about a yard or two shy of the first down. It'll be second down and short. Second down and about a deuce coming up for Dunbar.
I'm just competing for myself.
Just under 4.5 remaining in the first half. Lee from the blind side under pressure. Big hit. Did he catch the ball? No. Incomplete. Big hit by the Indians, number 24, Herbert Murphy.
Yeah, but if Murphy wanted the interception, he would have had the interception. I think Murphy was going for the hit. The ball actually bounced right in his chest. Had he been watching the ball, he had the football in his hands. But never to say it was a great play, but he could have had an interception easily.
Third down and 2 coming up for Dunbar. Clock stops on the incomplete pass. 4:05 remaining in the second period. Lee this time puts the ball on the ground to his bread and butter man, McDaniel. McDaniel has the first down and more. Across the 35, close to the 40. It'll be first and 10, Dunbar.
You know, we watched Dunbar last week when they were playing over at Ballou and they were playing playing Ballou, and they did go to the wishbone. They went to the broken bone. They went to an inverted bone with motion. And as we can see right here, that we went with an inverted bone, and McDaniel's being the deep back set. And they're going to a power I, ain't close. And but actually haven't had a chance of going close too much. They've been scoring from far away. So you know, Nunn is showing displaying some different things here today and trying to confuse the Anacostia Indians.
First and 10, Dunbar from their own 37-yard line. Just under 3.5 now remaining in the first half. Will they be content to just let the clock run out? No, they're trying to go for more. Lee tries to go up top. He was looking for Hinton, and Hinton ran the wrong pattern, or else Lee threw the wrong pattern. And it'll
Nevertheless,
be
it was incomplete. Huh?
Yeah.
Second and 10 for Dunbar at their own 37-yard line.
As I look around and see the crowd still growing, people still coming to the game. I guess after the rain, they decided to come out.
Here comes McDaniel trying to turn the corner on the near side. McDaniel.
That's what I'm talking about, Shelly. That's what I'm talking about. He did the same thing when he played last week. He scored a touchdown from like 6 yards out. He was hit at the 2-yard line, and he carried 2 guys into the end zone, a linebacker and a defensive back. Very impressed. This guy's 5'7", 155 pounds, and he's not trying to run away from anybody. He is trying to run over people to get what he can, and he's either crazy or he's good. Whichever it works out, he's a fine running back.
Well, one thing they put down when they write down the particulars about these players, they write down their height, their weight, their position, their classification. One thing they don't write down is how much heart they got. And if they did write down how much heart these players have, McDaniel would probably take up the whole page because he's got a lot of it, as evident on that last play.
And he's over 100 yards.
Third down and about 1 for the Crimson Tide from their own 46-yard line. Lee directing traffic. Now breaks up the backfield. Lee puts the ball on the ground to Braxton. Braxton has good blocking. Flag on the play. And we may have some sort of infraction against the Crimson Tide.
You know, Dunbar had an opportunity, not an opportunity, but they went up and played St. Albans this year, and they beat St. Albans something like 26-21. And after the game, McDaniels had 205 yards rushing, another 130 yards in receptions. So he was well over 300 and maybe 50, 55 yards on a day. And the coach up at St. Albans was so impressed with him, it's unbelievable. He made some statements in the paper about McDaniel's talents, and people started to watch him, and before you know it, he was up well over 1,400 yards this year, and he's still running. So he's a tough guy. He's, like I said, he's plays offense, he plays defense, he's on special teams, he's a full-timer, and I'm just amazed at the pounding he takes at his side.
Holding is charged against the Crimson Tide. It'll be 3rd down and 5 from the Dunbar 43-yard line. 3:09 remaining in the first half. Lee puts the ball on the ground to McDaniel. McDaniel this time is caught after a short gain. Good tackle by Charles Honesty for the Indians, number 31.
Gain of 3 yards on the play.
It'll be 4th down. Actually, McDaniel got more than what I thought he did. It's going to be 4th down and 1.
And I'm telling you, if Dunbar have a trick play right now, this is what I think they should run it. Maybe a short snap or something and get up in there and run it. There it is, a trick play, just as I called it.
And they got the 1st down inside Anacostia territory.
And it will be more because there's a face mask going to be attacked onto that.
That's Dwayne Schaefer, number 3 for Dunbar. Boy, Coach Dunbar can't do anything wrong now. And there's that face mask penalty that Coach Martin was talking about.
You know, Shelly, just before the play, like I was saying, if this was a time to run that trick play, they have to do it right now. It was an excellent opportunity for him to do that, and it worked for him. So Coach Nunn knew exactly what he was doing. Everybody told him to go for it, go for it. He just want to give him a different look. He's going to go for it anyway. 2 minutes and 16 seconds left.
This is a big mark-off against the Indians. They're going to spot it at the Anacostia 32-yard line. 1st and 10, Dunbar, with 2:16 remaining in the half. So the Crimson Tide will not be content to just sit on this 9-point lead. McDaniel big hole inside the 30.
There's another face mask.
We may have another face mask.
There's another face mask.
McDaniel saying, yeah, he grabbed my face mask. Yeah, call it.
You remember earlier, Shelley, we was talking about somewhere down the line, they won't get some face masks on McDaniel simply because he's so small and they tackle him so high. It was just a matter of time before plays like this start to happen because he runs low and he doesn't give you a good target to hit. And that's how come he's so hard to tackle. And you have to grab what you can. And a lot of times you grab him up around the head. And when you do that, that hand sometimes slip on that face mask. And as we can see, that's 30 yards he done picked up, plus the 640 he even ran behind that. So on this drive, McDaniels is worth well over 65 yards.
You know, before, in the paper earlier this week, McDaniel said he was going to get over 100 yards.
I believe.
I don't know if he meant 100 yards in the game or 100 yards per quarter. McDaniel, this time he's hit hard after a short gain.
When he said he can get 100 yards, I believe him. When he get 100 yards a quarter, like you say, or a half or whatever, I knew he would be over 100 yards.
He said he was going to get over 100 yards. I didn't know if he meant in a game or per quarter.
So he might come out of here with 200 yards. Because a minute and 30 seconds left, and he's well over 100 yards right now.
1, 2.
Well, McDaniel's got more yards. Second down and 10, inside the 20. McDaniel gets his number called again. Caught from the shirt tail. And is finally being dragged down inside the 10-yard line. For the Indians on the tackle, big number 55, Fred Smith. But not before McDaniel gets 5 yards. It'll be third down and 5. Well, I tell you, Coach, McDaniel has got more yards than Kimlon so
But see,
far.
now I don't understand this. The clock is still ticking, and they're taking their time. And it's third down, so, they don't want time to run out on.
I guess if you're Dunbar, you want to score and leave Anacostia as little time left on the clock as possible. And that's just what they're doing. 30 seconds now left in the first half. Lee on the bootleg. Gets the ball away. Got a man open. Caught. Touchdown. Dunbar.
Excellent pass by Lee.
Gregory Ebram.
That was an excellent pass by Lee.
With 20 seconds left in the half, Coach. They knew what they were doing.
Hey, I told you John Nunn took his time over the years. He put this team together in the same fashion that Horace Fleming up to Woodrow Wilson did. Didn't rush anything, went out, got good people, put them together, pieced this team slowly together. He has a system. He doesn't have plays. He has a system, and that's what you win with. You win with system, good coaches, and good people, and that's exactly what they have over here at Dunbar. Not to say Anacostia doesn't, but Dunbar has proven that they can do something with it.
Again, they go for the 2, and again, they get the 2-point conversion. And the score is Dunbar 23, Anacostia 6. Nobody, Coach, nobody, with the exception of the Dunbar
And
staff.
me. And me.
And me too.
And me.
And nobody outside of the Dunbar coaching staff and the players themselves, I'm sure, can believe what is happening here today.
Well, I have a lot of confidence in Anacostia and they're a fine organization over there. We're not putting them down, but what we are saying is that Dunbar has arrived. Coach Nunn is doing an excellent job today, and thus far, 20 seconds remaining in the first half, and the score is 23-6. And so far, if Dunbar can keep their composure and don't let this 23 points go to their heads and come out the second half and continue to play, they have a chance of winning this thing. On the other hand, if they do not do that, Anacostia has the capacity, and they will come back. Remember, if Anacostia and Willie Stewart coach to you in the fourth quarter, I always put my money on Coach Willie Stewart and Anacostia because they have proven in the past that they had the comeback ability.
Well, we said at the outset of this game that Dunbar is the only team in the West that has not won a football city title.
Yeah.
And today, it looked like they're trying to break that streak. Last year, Wilson got their first city title in their schools, in their history.
In 30 years.
Yeah, and now Dunbar is trying to get their first city title championship. That last drive, by the way, for the Crimson Tide took 11 plays, 91 yards, capped off by the 15-yard, capped off by the big hit on the return by the Indians.
I'm excited, man. These guys are playing football. They ain't playing rough football either. They playing clean, hard-hitting football. And this is the way it's supposed to be played before you go home and get some turkey.
And you can see McDaniel on the sideline here. He's all sized up as well as the rest of the Crimson Tide ball team.
21 yards on the return. Officially making an 18-yard return.
All right, so we have 6 seconds. And now they're running the clock. Anacostia may not get a playoff in time, and now they're going to call the TO with 4 seconds left.
Don't get to stay with us.
What people don't realize sometimes is that they start the clock as soon as they spot the ball. The Anacostia players weren't aware of that, and so they started the clock, and the clock started ticking down before the players realized it. So Anacostia was forced to call their last timeout with 4 seconds left in the half.
And that means that they lost 10 seconds by not looking at the clock.
So the Indians, instead of having at least 2 plays left in the half, now find themselves only having 1 play left with no TOs to play around with.
So we know this is going to be a Hail Mary.
You know that?
Yeah. Now I look around, I see Coach Tuck from Anacostia. He's the guy up in the booth, and he's also the junior varsity coach. But he's a real astute guy, and he was talking to us last week, and he was saying that Anacostia was ready for this game. That they had went down and scouted Dunbar, and they saw what they had to do, and maybe Coach Nell was scouting them when they were scouting them. So you know, it's who's scouting who, and. So far, the score is 23-6 in favor of Dunbar with 4 seconds left before the half.
1st and 10 for the Indians. Davis out of the shotgun. 4 seconds left in the half. Dunbar expecting the Hail Mary, and here it comes. And Davis is going to be sacked. No. Breaks the tackle, still on his feet. Throws across the middle. It's complete. Across the 35. Larry Towns. Towns gets a good block across the 40. Towns still on his feet, and is finally forced out of bounds across midfield, but we have flags on the play.
And it may be very costly because we see a Dunbar player down, and we just hope that he's not hurt too bad because he got wiped out. We just hope that he's not injured, and that could be very costly on the last play of the game.
If the penalty is against Anacostia, that'll be the end of the first half, as I'm sure Dunbar will decline the penalty. But as it stands now, we're tending to the injured Crimson Tide. And yes, evidently that is the end of the first half, right, because the penalty was against Anacostia. With the score, 23 Dunbar, 6 for Anacostia. And Coach, we've been informed by Ed Hill, the sports information director here at Howard University, that so far Keith Davis for Anacostia is 4 for 14 for 72 yards, 1 touchdown pass, and 1 INT. Rodney McDaniel for the Crimson Tide, 14 carries, 132 yards already in the first half, and 1 TD.
You were right. He meant 100 yards a half.
100 yards a half. And again, you see the Crimson Tide player down there. Hopefully he's being tended to. Hopefully his injury is not too serious. They're telling us that it's number 2, James. Is that James Hemsley? Oh, 2 players he's saying that are down.
There's 2 players.
2 players for Dunbar that are down. That could be a big blow to the Crimson Tide. Well, it's halftime here, Coach, and as we were last year, coming into the championship game last year, we knew history was going to be made because we knew either one school was going to win their first city titles championship, or the other school was going to get Coach Willie Stewart his 7th city title, city title championship. As you see, number 45, Aisha Cherry, being helped off as he's up on his own feet off the field on his own power. That's a good sign for Dunbar. And today we're facing the same scenario as last year. History will be made. Either Dunbar will get their first ever city title, or Coach Willie Stewart will break the record for the most championships by a single coach at 7.
Well, either way, like I say, history will be made. But I think number 3 is down. I think that's Dwayne Schaefer. He's a safety, 5'10", 155-pound safety from Dunbar. I think that's number 3, and we hope that he's not hurt bad. But he took a heck of a crackback block, and he went down just like that. So we hope that he's not injured too bad. But it seemed to be his left leg, and if he can get up and play. Well, he's walking off, and that's a good sign, and that is Schaefer, Dwayne Schaefer, the safety for the Clemson Tide. And he seemed to be okay, and that's a very good sign.
At this time, the Anacostia Senior High School marching band is down on the near side as they are preparing for their halftime performance. And we will take, actually, Dr. Chin is on the field at midfield as they're having some sort of
the honorees.
The honorees. Let's see. Let's look in our program. They gave us this thick book for something.
Well,
for some reason, Coach. I guess we better.
One of the honorees down there is Lawrence Boone. He's the principal over at Ori Elementary School. Matter of fact, he's the guy who teaches me how to play golf. So, number one, I'd like to say to him, congratulations on being an honoree and inducted into this ceremony. I'm looking around, see if I see him. But he's a great guy. He does a lot of good things over there at Ori Elementary School, and he's to be commended for all the good things he's done.
And the honorees are Lawrence E. Boone, Murdoch A. Schofield, Barbara Lett Simmons, Charles E. Thomas, and James W. Wilkerson for their contributions to the D.C. public school systems and over the years, as you see them escorted out on the field by the Dunbar cheerleaders.
Matter of fact, that's Lawrence Boone, the principal over at Ori Elementary School. That's the guy I was just talking about. And he's a fine guy. He does a lot of things over there with those kids, and I'm happy to see that he's getting some recognition about that. And for that, and did you know he played football here in the city? One of the better scat backs, and he also played in the collegiate league up there in that Banneker League, and he was inducted into the Hall of Fame up there as a running back. So he's a fine guy, and like I said before, he's an excellent golfer. And I'd just like to say congratulations to you, Mr. Boone, and I'm looking forward to getting some more free golf lessons from you.
He grew up in the far northeast area known as Deanwood.
So we'll keep it right here as they continue to escort the honorees out on the field. Again, we're at halftime here at William H. Green Stadium with the score, the Dunbar Crimson Tide 23 and the Anacostia Indians 6. Nice crowd is on hand here at Green Stadium. Estimated about 10,000 here. Not quite as much that was here last year for the Wilson Anacostia matchup. Still in all, though, there are quite a few people in attendance here at Green Stadium. And coming up here, Mike's side, isn't it at halftime? Come on, man. Coming up here, Mike's side is Gus Johnson, who was filling in for me a couple of weeks. And Gus, your impressions of the first half so far?
Well, I didn't have a chance. I got here late after the first quarter, but from what I saw, man, some tremendous hits being placed on some of these guys today, man. It just looks like it's a lot of fun out there, and I'm looking forward to a real positive and enthusiastic second half.
What do you expect out of the second half in particular?
Well, really, at the end of the first half, that touchdown pass right before the half ended, I was really surprised that the quarterback was able to put that much touch on the ball. I'm expecting Dunbar to come out because when we covered Dunbar earlier during the year, I saw that they had an extremely strong defense, but they didn't really highlight their quarterback as much. I just have a feeling that when we come back, when they come back, they're going to highlight him a little bit more, and they may be able to run the score for him.
Hey, Gus, I got to thank you, man, for filling in for me this year, man. I've gotten a lot of positive feedback from you filling in.
Okay, I appreciate the opportunity, sir. We're going to work together a lot.
Oh, yeah, most definitely, man. Okay, all right, thanks again, man. All right, you the same. That's Gus Johnson, sportscaster for WTGG Channel 5, Fox 5. And again, we thank him for filling in for us filling in for me during the days that I was not able to broadcast games for you here on DCPS Cable 48. Anacostia Indians, the defending DCIAA East Division champions, coming into today's ball game with a record of 5-0 in divisional play. Ranked number 16 in the Washington Post poll. 9-2 overall, although there's a question mark about that because one game against Coolidge was declared a no contest. I don't know if they decided to go ahead and give them the victory because they were ahead 12-8 at the time they called the game or what. But we'll go ahead and say that they were 9-2, just to give them the benefit of the doubt. Some quick notes about Anacostia. The last time they were in the Turkey Bowl was last year when they lost to my alma mater, the Wilson Tigers, by a score of 37-6. That was Wilson's first city title in the school's history. Anacostia has been to the city title 4 of the last 5 years. Anacostia is averaging 17.6 points per ball game this year. Right now, they're way below that, as they only have 6 in this half. Keep in mind, they only scored 6 in the championship game last year.
Shelly, I think Anacostia is a little shocked right now. First of all, I think remember, young people have a tendency to listen to what people say, and they look at their read too many clippings. And I think Anacostia people came in here thinking that Dunbar was not real, and that we should come in here because we didn't come in to make the blow Dunbar out. I think that first run by McDaniels early in the first quarter really shocked them. Then to come back and be 22 points down going into the second half, this is a big shock to them. And Dunbar just have to keep pointing on if they're going to win this game. They can't look back, because you know what happened when Wilson came here the first year. They got blown out, then they got themselves together and came back in the second half and almost won the ball game, but didn't. Had they kept their composure in the first half, they would have had a legitimate shot at that. I see you going back and researching things. You see here that Dunbar, the last time they were here in 1983, and they lost to the same team, Anacostia, by a score of 30-6. They're the only team in the DCIAA in the Western Division not to ever win a city title. And I was standing to be corrected early because you said you did your homework. They were here 4 times with Luther Banner, but they didn't win the 4 times. And as we can see, also they won the 5 out of the last 6 games, and had record the last 3 shutouts. So and last week they had a big blowout against Ballou, beating them, running up the score by 41 points. So they came in here, and Dunbar is capable of doing a lot of good things. And Coach Nunn, like I said, you just can't give him enough credit. Win, lose, or draw something, because he's brought this team a long way. When he took the team over from Coach Luther Banner down there, who's been there for 20 years or so. And he did exactly what Coach Fleming did at Wilson. He took his time, he built the program, and this is exactly what you see from him building that program over the years he's been there. He's been there, I think, around about 8 years or so. So it's about right. They're the last team. Chances go right.
And if you're shocked because John Lee is doing so well today because he's just a sophomore, keep in mind this should not be a shock, because 3 years ago we had another sophomore quarterback playing in a championship game who darn near pulled off the victory. I'm talking about Quincy Randolph, who came in here as a 10th grader and rallied the Wilson Tigers from a 28-7 halftime deficit, only to lose the game by a score of 36-28. And so these 10th grade quarterbacks, you know, even though they may be young, they have proven that they can get the job done.
Hey, I'm telling you, if you come in and your coach have a lot of confidence in you and get you together and don't put no pressure on you, help you along with certain things, you can get the job done. Because remember, half of these guys have been playing football ever since Boys Club, and this is not new to them. The only thing new about it is a different stadium and a different uniform, different system. Other than that, it's still football and the basics of just having a good time, having fun, and doing what you like to do, and that's what's been taking place.
At this time, the Anacostia Senior High School Marching Band will perform. Let's take a look and listen at the Indian Marching Band. Coach, I think they got their banner turned around the wrong way. Or is it me?
Maybe they put it around this way for the camera.
Yeah, just so we can get them on TV.
Anacostia Indian Marching Band for your halftime entertainment. Honor the illustrious teacher and leader of young men, Coach Willie Stewart.
You'll just listen to the mighty marching band of Hines Junior High School. And as you can read from the banner, it says the Blue Ribbon School of Excellence. And we like to say they are a great marching band over there. And we like to say thanks to Miss Princess Whitfield, who's the principal at Hines Junior High School. And we're just happy to have them. Let's take a listen.
The Dunbar High School. The camera said they put a limited wave machine marching band under the direction of Mr. James D. Wilson, assisted by Mrs. Fanny Jackson, auxiliary sponsor. Drum major, Mr. Michael Wood and Shad Chamberlain. Drum major, David Field.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the field, the Dunbar Crimson Tide Marching Band.
some crack and ended up another tragic story. Only she doesn't know it yet. Drugs make you forget. And if you forget how risky sex can be, you could catch the AIDS virus and not know it for months, even years. AIDS.
Here's one time it doesn't matter who your neighbor is. Here's the other. Life's too short. Stop the hate.
In the nation's capital, this is Channel 48, the educational access channel for the District of Columbia Public Schools.
Welcome back to William H. Green Stadium on the campus of Howard University. Our halftime score at the 1992 Turkey Bowl, the Coal West Division champion Dunbar Crimson Tide, 23, trying to make it league titleless to 6 over Anacostia, the East Division champions. I'm Shelly Bowers Jr., my colleague Eddie Martin. We're here at halftime. You've seen the bands performing at a halftime, and now, Coach, all that's left to do is 24 minutes of football before we decide our new gridiron champion.
Well, I'll tell you something. Anacostia is never out of any game. Willie Stewart always, and I reiterate, he always says if he's close in the fourth quarter, he will win the ball game. On the other hand, Dunbar comes in here, they're a little nervous. I noticed in the second half they get a little shaky with things because they're excited now. They're ahead 23-6, and it's new for them. They've never won a title before, and things are a little new. But I'm really looking for Dunbar to come back out here, coach them in there and settle them down, and to make a run at this thing. I'm looking for Dunbar to win this game. Now, I was wrong for the last 2 years. So.
It's funny, too, B, because, they always say the old expression is defense wins football games. And Dunbar has got to have one of the best defenses in the league. And all along they've been hyping up the Anacostia run-and-shoot offense. And now the Dunbar Crimson Tide, all of a sudden, not only is their defense performing well, but their offense is performing well, exceptionally well, thanks in part to Rodney McDaniel, who has 132 yards on 14 carries in the first half alone.
And that makes a big difference. I think Dunbar came here and actually shocked Anacostia because Anacostia read all the press clippings during the week, and they just thought it was going to come in here and be a cakewalk. And I know Willie Stewart been drilling in them all week. That means nothing. And I think the kids, you can say that to them, but when they read it and people tell them how great they are and they have a great quarterback, they had the trees and the tall receivers and things, they just thought this game was in the bag. But as we can see, it's not like that, and it's a dogfight now. And like you said, with 24 minutes remaining in this game, it's anybody's ball game. Dunbar being up 23-0. We came here a few years ago when Anacostia was up, and Wilson came back on them in the second half and almost won that game. So anything can happen in these types of games, and I'm just looking for something exciting, man. It's been exciting so far.
Well, there's 24 minutes left. We do know one thing. History will be made right here at Green Stadium today. If Dunbar holds on for the victory today, they will win their first ever football championship in the school's history. If Anacostia rallies and wins today, Willie Stewart will be the all-time winningest coach as far as championships are concerned in the inter-high/DCI AA history. So both teams are back out in the second half, and we're going to be set for the second half kickoff in a minute. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
There are countries where bread is scarce, but this is America. Countries where electricity is rare, but this is America. Countries where infant mortality is a problem, but this is America. Here, it's a crisis. Every 13 minutes, another infant dies. But we can help prevent many of those deaths with prenatal care from programs like Healthy Start. Find out what you can do. Why? Because this is America.
First and 10 for Anacostia at their own 24-yard line. Penalty mark on the play. Indication on the penalty, legal procedure called against Anacostia.
Let's go defense! Come on, Nettie!
Illegal procedure called against Anacostia, 5-yard penalty. It'll be first and 15 for Anacostia at their own 19-yard line.
Welcome back to William H. Green Stadium on the campus of Howard University. Again, our halftime score is 23-6, just underway here in the third period. The Indians have the ball. They're facing a first down and 15 situation. The ball is spotted at their own 19-yard line. Just underway here in the second half. Davis on the rollout to the near side. Davis, good protection, gets the ball away. A little floater, intercepted. Was he in bounds? They're saying yes,
yes
he was. An INT for the Crimson Tide. Number 45, if I'm not mistaken.
No, number 20. That ball was intercepted by Rodney McDaniels, who scored the 74-yard touchdown in the first quarter. He's playing one heck of a ball game, and they try that play earlier in the second half before our sound. We like to apologize for our sound in the 3 seconds in the first half, but they tried that play, and that play was caught by number 22, and that was James Taylor. But they tried to come back with the same thing. Keith Davis threw a floater, and Rodney McDaniels intercepted the ball. He was knocked out of bounds, and they had Dunbar to give it to Rodney McDaniels, and he picks up 5 yards on the carry. As I was saying before, Rodney McDaniels caught the interception, but he was knocked out of bounds. And the ruling is if you're carried out of bounds before your feet hit the ground, then the ball is still your ball. That was an excellent interception by Rodney McDaniels.
Second and 6 for Dunbar at the Anacostia 33-yard line.
They give us to Braxton. Braxton struggles for a few yards. He picks up 3. That brings up a 3rd and 3. As we noted in the first half, Dunbar has been here 4 times before and never have clinched the city title. And if they continues going like they're going now, maybe things will look up for them simply because they are in the driver's seat with the score 23-6 with 9 minutes and 30 seconds left in the third quarter.
It'll be third down and call it 8 yards for the Indians. Well, the way they got it spotted now, it looks like it's 33. Oh, I'm sorry. My mistake. I stand to be corrected. And I am standing. Flags on the play. We may have somebody from Anacostia lined up in the neutral zone.
You know, it's funny, there hasn't really been a lot of flags this game except for late in the second quarter.
It hasn't.
The last 2 minutes of the second quarter when everybody was trying to rush and do something and flags was being thrown all over the place. But other than this, it's been a fairly clean ball game and a lot of excitement, a lot of fireworks.
And it is encroachment against the Indians. It'll be first down and 10. Dunbar just inside the 25 of Anacostia. John Lee is your quarterback. Lee hands off to the deep back. Is that Braxton? There's a flag on the play. No, that's McDaniel. And there's a late flag on the play. And let's see how they're going to call this. Holding against the Crimson Tide.
We'd like to mention also in the first half, McDaniels had 13 attempts for 132 yards and 1 touchdown with a 74-yard run early. Braxton had 3 carries for 8 yards. And Hensley had 1 for -8. And Schaefer had 1 for 6.
And that's going to back them up. First and 15 from the Anacostia 30-yard line. Lee rolling to his right. Under pressure, gets the ball away. He's got a man open. It is complete at the 20, but there is a flag on the play. Everybody in the press box is saying illegal man downfield, and if that's the case, that'll back up the Crimson Tide another 5 yards.
Now remember, last week when we had the playoffs, the same thing was happening to Cardozo. Cardozo was driving the ball down the field, but they started shooting themselves in the foot. And as that would happen, that's one of the reasons why Cardozo's not here today, because of all the penalties that they accumulated. And the same thing is beginning to happen to Dunbar now. I think Coach Nunn's going to have to pull his little group around him and have a sit down with him and sort of straighten this thing out. because they're going in the wrong direction. And that will bring up 1st and 15.
So let's call it 1st down and 15 still.
Dunbar goes to a shotgun with the trips right.
Here's Lee looking to go up top. He's hit from behind. That's a loose ball, and it's recovered by the Indians.
No, no. 31 for Anacostia.
I'm going to say Dunbar got the ball back.
Charles Hunsley, he had the ball for, he's number 31 for Anacostia, but 67 for Dunbar. 67, who is 67? That's Russell Washington, 5'10", 240 pounds. Dove on the ball and actually took the ball out of his hands.
It was ruled a fumble. It was ruled a fumble, but the Indians, the Crimson Tide recovered it at the 40-yard line. So that's another loss of 5 yards. Dunbar needs to get just inside the 15-yard line to get the 1st down. Right now they're facing 2nd down and about 20. About 25, I should say. They put the ball on the ground, and this time they snuffed out McDaniel big time.
Norman Johnson, he's 6'2", 240 pounds. He's a junior, and he blew through the hole and just rolled McDaniel's back. Well, I'll tell you one thing, Shelly, if Dunbar was moving that ball in the other direction, they'd be kicking an extra point now because they would be in the end zone. They've gone actually 40 yards in the reverse. Well, actually, but almost 30 yards back.
At the Anacostia 42-yard line.
So here comes the Crimson Tide facing 3rd down and long. 3rd and about 27. Lee, quick screen to the far side. That's McDaniel trying to break tackles. He's not going to be able to do so. And it's finally brought down. Maybe got back to the line of scrimmage, if that's about it.
You know, do you get the feeling here that maybe Dunbar is trying some new things and what they were not doing in the first half, and they need to go back to what they were doing in the first half, get away from all this other stuff and just go ahead and play football like they were doing. Right. They come out, they go to trips, and they go to all that other stuff, and they lose 35 yards. And it's looked like they need to just get it back and go with the basics and do what they were doing and move the ball down the field.
4th down, punting situation for the Crimson Tide. And Phillips is in now for the punting honors. And Dunbar is calling the TO. 5:32 left in the 3rd period.
That's the 2nd time that's happened to Dunbar today, and that was a costly timeout for Coach Nunn and his team, simply because they had not enough men on the field. And cost them a timeout early in the ball game with 5 minutes and 32 seconds remaining in the 3rd quarter. Well, we just like to talk a little bit about the halftime. That was a long halftime, and we had some fine bands with us in the induction ceremony. It was just good. Sometimes we have not enough bands. Sometimes we have too many. But
this is one of those days that we had too many.
Yeah, but nevertheless, it was a fine day, and the bands were great. And I'm telling you, that high and junior high school bands, I'm real impressed with them. They had a lot of energy.
I thought they were going to stay on the field.
Yeah, hey, they kept to drag them off, but they were great and a lot of energy. And we're just happy to see all that enthusiasm from our young people, and happy to see all these people out today on a fine football afternoon. There's a little fog rolling in right now. I mentioned
earlier, it's rather warm. This is one of the warmest city title games we've had. It's kind of overcast, but it's still in all. It's not very cool outside. It's very comfortable, to say the least. Punting situation. Here comes Phillips. Good kick. Inside the 15. Return from the 10. That's Anderson. Across the 20. Slides at about the 25. Anacostia will have it 1st and 10. They'll spot him at about the 24-yard line.
I'm very impressed, too, also with Dunbar's kicking game. Yeah. The kickoff, he's kicking that ball in the end zone every time he touches it. And he shanked the punt in this 2nd quarter. But other than that, overall, the kicking game's been pretty good. Then they go down and they kick a field goal earlier. When the last time we seen a high school team kick a field goal?
Well, Dunbar is no strangers to good kickers. They got Milton Muya at Howard University. Right. And we saw he nearly took the 51-yard field goal in the D.C. Coaches Association All-Star football game a few years back.
In the rain, wasn't it?
Yeah. On natural grass. Davis rolling to his right. He's got good protection.
Oh, did you see that
Now he's in
takedown?
trouble. Davis is off to the races, trying to cut back inside. Now he's got a little real estate to work with. Another good block, and now Davis just decides to slide down at the 30-yard line. All that, and he picks up about 5 or 6 yards.
Not only that, but while Davis was running, his offensive lineman had a show. It was a holding, nothing but a hold. It was one of those professional wrestling takedown technique. Hook under there and pulled the guy right down, and it wasn't called. But nevertheless, he's going to get that ball out there and start throwing something and start moving this thing because the clock is ticking away. And
Dr. Hammond, please report to the Anacostia side of the field. Dr. Hammond, please report to the Anacostia side of the field. Thank you.
We'll give Keith about 6 yards for his troubles. It'll be 2nd down and 4. Split backfield for the Indians. Davis is going to roll to his right. Heavy pressure. Gets the ball away.
good coverage.
Did he catch it in bounds? They're saying yes.
That's
and
good.
Just past the first down marker at that. Big play for the Indians. It'll be 1st and 10 Anacostia at about their own 34-yard line.
He was covered by number 40, George Kuntz. And but that was an excellent play. That was good coverage, but that was a good throw. So that was sound football. I'm just really impressed with these big guys on Dunbar line, 79 and 99. We're talking about 360 and 305. I see the offensive coach up here, Coach Sammy Ware, in the booth with us, and I guess he's about 350 himself, so I guess he recruit those big guys like that. How big boy?
It'll be 1st down and 10 for the Indians from their own 34-yard line. Davis, he loses one tackler. The screen pass is complete. Cutting inside. And a nice play by the Dunbar defense.
Yeah, but James Taylor caught that ball and went back inside. His blocker was actually sitting up a wall for him on the outside. Had he broke to the outside, maybe he possibly would have gotten more. But that's no here nor there now. That's hindsight.
Gain of 1 yard. 2nd and 9 for Anacostia. And they're on 36-yard line. Let's go defense!
So that screen pass by the Indians was only good enough for about a yard. It'll be 2nd down and 9 from the Anacostia 35. Davis taking his time, making his call. Davis out of the shotgun. Low snap. Davis throws to the near side. It is complete. Again for short gain on a reception. Number 12, Michael Powell, one of the members of the Anacostia Trees. We've been calling them trees. The trees at Anacostia, the Anacostia receivers that they have been calling themselves this year, calling themselves trees because they're also tall.
That's right. You had Larry Towns. He's 6'4", 190 pounds. Michael Powell, 6'2", 175 pounds. And Michael Weatherspoon, he's 6'4", 180 pounds. And as you can see, that's a lot of height when you compare to 5'9" and 5'7", respectively, in Dunbar's cornerbacks.
3rd down and 5 for the Indians. Big 3rd down play. Davis rolling to his right. Nice screen pass, and it is dropped. Wide open was James Taylor, and Taylor had a 1st down and then some, and he forgot to catch the ball.
That's a good example of running before you catch it. And the thing about it was it must have been a blown coverage because nobody was there. No one was so close around him within 10 yards. So,
I think Lynn Burney says it best. He didn't WBIH, watch ball in hands.
Yeah.
And it'll be a 4th down punting situation coming up for Anacostia.
See, they've sit McDaniels back deep and hope to get a little fireworks.
And it's a high kick, short kick, and it's fielded. Did he put up a fair catch signal? I don't know. Dunbar's applauding. Evidently, he put up a fair catch signal. I didn't see it.
I didn't see it either. That's questionable. I didn't see a fair catch signal.
And the Anacostia players are arguing that he didn't put up a hand. If he didn't stick his hand all the way up, that's going to be delay of game against Dunbar. And that's what Anacostia is arguing right now. I don't think he did not extend his arm all the way up. If you stick it up halfway, that's not good enough. And let's see what the good guy in the white cap is going to call here. And now they're waving off the flag. They're waving off the flag. And they're going to say it's 1st and 10 for Dunbar.
Dunbar starts 1st and 10 at their own
So it's going to be 1st and 10 Dunbar from their own 40-yard line. We've got 1:57 remaining in the third period. The Crimson Tide are up 23-6. Lee puts the ball on the ground. McDaniel does a 360, but is finally brought down after a gain of about 3 or 4 yards. 2nd down and about 6. Another flag, this time in the Anacostia secondary.
I think we have a late hit down here, but what happens is then this thing turning into a flag fest. And all of a sudden there were no flags, and then all of a sudden a whole bunch of them starting to come. So
they're calling a dead ball penalty, personal foul against the Crimson Tide.
like I said, Dunbar's beginning to shoot themselves in the foot, and that's the worst thing you can do against an Anacostia team, because what Coach Willis Stewart, he does take advantage of things like this. And
now they're marking the penalty off against Anacostia, or is he just facing Anacostia? Okay. So there's your personal foul indication by the head official there. And that'll back up the Crimson Tide 15 yards. It'll be 1st down and 25 from the Dunbar 29. Interesting thing about that penalty, the coach, is it's a dead ball personal foul against Dunbar, but the flag goes all the way over here in the Anacostia secondary.
That's because what happened was one of Dunbar's men went down and went after the one of Anacostia's safety men. And the referee, the backfield judge, saw it through the flag.
2nd down and 25, I should say. Lee gives it to McDaniel. McDaniel scoots his way in the middle, and it's finally brought down close to the 40-yard line.
You know, it's funny. McDaniels gets in behind those big guys, and you see the whole pile just moves, and you can't see him until he gets up off the ground.
Well, that's what the linemen for Dunbar were quoted as saying in the Washington Post earlier this week. They said, all we do is got to hide them behind us. And the rest is riding.
At their own 39-yard line.
McDaniel gets back to the original line of scrimmage, call it 3rd down and 10. Lee puts the ball on the ground to the deep back. That's McDaniel. McDaniel, big hole, crosses midfield, and gets the 1st down. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
And that's why I can't understand why they try to go to all that other stuff earlier. They just stay with what worked and continue to do that. And this game should be their game with 16 seconds and counting for the 3rd quarter. Matter of fact, they won't get a play off until the 4th quarter. But I didn't understand why they come out, Shell, and try to trick them and go to all that other stuff when absolutely nothing was wrong with what they were doing in the first half.
So the clock runs down to triple zeros, and after in the 3 periods, our score is 23-6 in favor of the Dunbar Crimson Tide. Speaking of Dunbar, we had mentioned at the outset of the broadcast that they'll be hosting a basketball tournament at Dunbar. It's called the Beltway Classic. It's coming up this Saturday, December the 4th. The 5 o'clock game features Archbishop Carroll versus Carterbury of New Jersey. In the nightcap game at 7 o'clock, the homestanding Dunbar Crimson Tide will take on Bishop McNamara of Prince George's County, Maryland. Then on Saturday, December the 5th, this Saturday, December the 5th, the 3rd place game will take place at 5 o'clock. The championship game will take place at 7 o'clock. Again, that'll be at Dunbar. And we wish Coach McLeese and his Crimson Tide basketball team the best of luck in this 1992-93 campaign, as well as the entire all the teams in the DCIAA basketball. We wish them the best, both boys and girls. All right, here we go. Last 12 minutes of play. 4th quarter underway here. Maurice Braxton gets his number called for a change. Braxton is wrestled down after about a gain of a yard. It'll be 2nd down and 9 from about the Anacostia 48-yard line. Coach, what is Anacostia going to have to do in this last quarter to get back in this ball game?
Well, they're down 20 points, and the thing is, they're going to have to get this ball back. They're going to have to get this ball back from Dunbar, but I can't see how, because Dunbar, if they stay with their game plan and run, the only way they're going to get it back is a fumble, and they have yet to do that. So Anacostia, when they get the ball, you have to take advantage of it and make something happen.
2nd down and 9 from the Indian 48-yard line. Split backfield for Lee. Receiver split to each side. Lee Puts the ball on the ground to McDaniel. McDaniel is caught by the ankles by the Indians, number 56. That is Jimmy Stubbs. And Stubbs stops McDaniel for a loss of a yard. So it'll be third down and 10 from the 49 of Anacostia. Ed Hill, the SID here at Howard University, has handed us an interesting statistic, Coach. Dunbar has controlled the clock for 24 minutes plus of a possible 36 minutes of this ball game. That's more than 2/3 of this ball game. Dunbar has had the ball. Coach, you can't win the ball game if you don't have the ball.
Yes, you're absolutely right, Shelly, and I'm not surprised because Dunbar is showing a 23-6 score on that clock. So that's indicative of what they're doing today.
Lee pumps once, going to the near side, and caught. Was he in bounds? No, out of bounds.
That was an excellent catch by Nicky Mason, but unfortunately it was out of bounds. One thing while we're talking about and have a little time here, we'd like to congratulate a couple of ex-athletes out of the DCIAA. We're talking about a sophomore here at Howard University, Jose White of H.D. Worcester, who graduated from H.D. Worcester. He's up for honors for all MAAC at Howard University. And also Dunbar alumnus, Neil Downing. He is also up for all MAAC honors in the MAAC, and plus he's second in team in tackles and interceptions. So congratulations to those two guys. And by the way, Jose White is a big guy, and he's 6'4", 260. And they tell me he runs like a deer. So he's one of the guys that maybe the pros will keep an eye on. And Neil Downing, as we know, we read about him in the paper a lot. Undoubtedly, good things will happen to him because he's had a great career up here at Howard University, and he's only a junior.
5-yard penalty against the Indians, make it now 4th down and 5 instead of 4th and 10. Still, it's a punting situation for the Crimson Tide. The punter slips, gets off a short kick. It takes a Dunbar bounce inside the 20-yard line, and it turns out to be a nice kick after all, as they'll spot it at about the 17, maybe the 18-yard line, 1st and 10 Anacostia. And again, the Indians have their work cut out for them.
Yeah, that was called a slip-down coffin corner. But anyway,
I thought it was called a lucky bounce when you fall.
No, he slipped. He got an old coffin corner. Thing right on the 18-yard line, whatever, 60, 70-yard line. But Anacostia have to move this ball in there. They have to do something right now. With 10 minutes and 18 seconds left in the 4th quarter, they can't afford to go 3 downs and punt. They have to control this ball and go up, and they're not out of this thing with 10 minutes. Like I said before, not to be redundant, but Wilson came back on Anacostia 2 years ago. Anacostia can come back on Dunbar, so we have to play this thing out to the end.
Davis throws across the middle, incomplete, looking for Jeff Evans. Evans couldn't come up with the reception. It'll be 2nd down and 10. Well, these fans here at Howard University's Green Stadium are not too strange, not too unaccustomed to seeing a run-and-shoot game. A few weeks ago, Howard University Bison played host to Alcorn State. Alcorn State pretty much runs the same kind of offense that the Indians do here at Anacostia. And Alcorn State behind second air McNair had a big rally in the second half and almost came up with a big victory. And Anacostia is going to have to come up with a repeat performance here today if they're going to come out of this thing with the W. Davis, again looking in the middle, goes to his left. Again, throws incomplete. This time looking for Larry Towns.
Dunbar's putting a lot of pressure on Davis. And what's happening is that the pressure they're putting on, they make Davis throwing that ball a lot of time on the run. So he hasn't had time really to set up and throw that ball like he's capable of doing. And that's credit to Dunbar's defense, the type of pressure that they're putting on him. So because last couple of times those guys was open, he just missed them. So if he settles down a little bit and not rush things, I know the time is not on his side right now, but if he just settle down and get his feet right and throw the football, good things might happen. I see they're going to the spread formation, and some people call it the ace, but it's all about the run and shoot. He wasn't.
And it's behind Davis, still loose. Still on the ground. And who has it?
Believe it or not, Anacostia got that ball simply because somebody from Dunbar wanted to pick it up and run. And they tell you, fall on the ball in the fetus position, crouch over the ball and stay there.
And now the Indians really have their backs up against the wall, Coach. 4th down, if I'm not mistaken.
That was lack of concentration. The center snapped the ball, and Keith Davis wasn't ready. He wasn't set. But Dunbar got the ball.
Dunbar ball.
Dunbar got the ball.
They're giving the ball to Dunbar, and the Anacostia players can't believe it. And the score here by the Crimson Tide, Coach, would just about put the nail in the coffin.
Well, if it's not, I'm getting ready to sing my song, old Danny Dunn song. Turn out the lights. I can't talk about the party yet, but we're going to turn out the lights.
First down and goal for the Crimson Tide. The ball is spotted at the Anacostia 3-yard line. Here comes Lee making his call out of the eye. Hands off to the deep back. That's guess who? McDaniel. No.
You know, it's funny, but that was a slow developing play. Something happened up there. Some lineman or something had gotten away because that play looked like it was a mistake right from the start.
And you can see in the left corner of your picture, McDaniel was arguing with the coaches here on the near side. He was upset either because one of the players, one of his linemen didn't block, or as you attested to, Coach, as we see the umbrellas starting to come out here as the rain is starting to come down here at Green Stadium.
That was 2 times on both offenses when the ball was snapped. Neither team was set to go, and it cost both of them, possibly costing Dunbar a touchdown at this point, and before it cost Anacostia the ball. So, a little concentration here being lost on the part of both teams, and doesn't make too much difference for Dunbar. They're up, and with 9 minutes and 3 seconds left in this ball game, Dunbar is shooting for their first title, and I think, Shelley, am I correct in saying that if Dunbar win this, that means that all the teams in the West would have won a championship or title at one time or another?
Including your alma mater, Bell.
We won 3 of those things. We won 3 of those things, so,
Speaking of alma maters, I got to send a shout out to my 1988 baseball teammate at UDC, Tracy Johnson. I see he's in the stands today with his camera taking pictures. He's in the photography. Got to send shouts out to the Anacostia High School class of 1972. They got their reunion coming up, and they got a little section over there on the far side of the stadium.
Speaking of Tracy, when I was coaching at the University of D.C., I had an opportunity to coach Tracy on the football team.
That's right.
And he was taking pictures then, so I hope he's a better photographer than he was a football player. I was just kidding, Tracy. I was just kidding. A little humor up here in the booth. But, yeah, he was a fine guy and a good athlete. He was always interested in photography, even when he was playing football. He was always having a camera with him on the road.
Speaking of football and UDC, Coach, we're going to talk about that as soon as after this play is completed. Second down and goal for the Crimson Tide. Lee puts the ball on the ground to McDaniel. McDaniel trying to turn the corner, but is wrestled down just inside the 10-yard line. Coach, when do you think we're going to see a football program back at UDC again?
I don't know. It's funny because they just hired a new athletic director, one of John Thompson's assistants, and a D.C. native. But no, not Donald Huff. He was used to play basketball for.
I'm sorry, Donald Huff is the.
He's a sports guy for the Washington Post. But what happens is that they talk a lot of things about a lot of different sports, but nobody mentioned football.
Right.
And I can't see them really having a football program without some sort of recruitment, unless they go to a Division III or Division II, which they should. They should be a Division III or Division II and have some excitement and generate some enthusiasm up on the campus.
Lee tries to go up top, and trying to come up with the acrobatic catch for the Crimson Tide is number 29, who is not on our roster. Nonetheless, though, Lee's pass went out of the end zone, and it'll be 4th down. And yes, they will attempt a field goal as Phillips comes onto the field.
Getting back to UDC, Shelley, like I was saying before, they should have football. They have enrollment of 11,000 students, and when I was up there coaching, there used to be a lot of enthusiasm around the football program. So I hope that they sit down and talk about that, and somebody will say that's what needs to be done.
They'll spot that at the 14, so this is a 24-yard attempt for Phillips, and it goes just off to the right. And so the score will stand at 23-6 in favor of the Crimson Tide as the rain starts to get a little bit heavier and a little bit more of the crowd starts to file for the exits.
I'm surprised that Dunbar would get down here and not get something out of it, because they've been going good all day. The engines have been cranking up, and the kicking game been good. But with 7 minutes and 52 seconds left in the ball game, and they're down, Anacostia is down by 20 points. Things are looking pretty dim.
Well, we've just got some more stats handed to us. Well, they say defense wins football games for you, and Dunbar is showing that is the case because Sean Leak, he himself has 4 solo tackles. George Kuntz has 3 solos and 1 assist. Well, as far as the offensive side of the ball is concerned for McDaniels, for Dunbar, he's 20 carries, 155 yards. As we see the Indians in a hurry-up offense now.
But you know, Charlie, also I'm surprised that Anacostia is not going vertical. They're not going very deep. They're going with the short, safe routes, and they haven't put that ball up over 50, 60 yards all day. And Keith Davis can't throw it.
Keith Davis trying to go across the middle. He's got to complete to Evans. Evans still on his feet, inside the 45, fumbles the ball. It's loose, and I believe he fell right back on it. And I think he did. It'll be 1st and 10 Anacostia. Right before that play, Coach, I was going to say that Keith Davis so far is 9 for 22, 100 yards passing, 2 INTs though, 1 fumble, and just 1 TD pass as the Indians set up in a hurry-up offense, 1st and 10 from the Dunbar 45-yard line.
I was going to say, he's been harassed all day. Yeah, the big question, Shelley, is going to be if they can move the ball like this with 7 minutes left in the game. Why weren't they throwing this ball like this earlier in the game? You know, when it gets late like this, you get away from your game plan. You got to get with something that you can get a touchdown with, possibly get an onside kick and get back. And that's what they're doing now. You know, the whole game changes in the last quarter, in the last few minutes of the quarter.
And head coach John Nunn is playing it on the safe side. He is calling the TO. He is saying, look, I don't want Anacostia to have any ideas of getting any momentum. Let's call timeout. Let me set my troops down, get them settled down, and let's just regroup and regain our composure while we've got this comfortable lead with 7:05 remaining in the ball game.
Because they can't get worn down, and what happened is Anacostia come back and they'll score a touchdown. Then they get another break. Before you know it, they're back in this ball game. So it's not over until it's over with 7 minutes and 5 seconds remain in the city title game at the DCIAA between Anacostia Indians and the Clemson Tide of Dunbar.
And don't forget, at the conclusion of today's ball game, we will be selecting our most valuable player from the winning team. And don't forget, we will be bringing some basketball games to DCPS Cable 48. We'll talk about that in the future as Davis going up top. And it's intercepted by the Crimson Tide from the 3, return across the 10, the 20, the 25, the 30, flags on the play. And that's tripped out of bounds is number 27, that is Singletary.
That's right, and he made an excellent play because he did exactly what a safety man is supposed to do, and that was protect the goal line. He went back to the goal line, attacked the football at his highest point, and fortunately he came down with it and returned the football. And now
there is a flag on the play. Let's see what the good guy in the white cap is going to call. They may bring this back. Illegal procedure against Anacostia. That'll be declined. 1st and 10, Dunbar at their own 30-yard line. I'm sorry, at their own 35-yard line.
Well, things are looking pretty dim for the Anacostia Indians and looking pretty bright for the Clemson of Dunbar.
Crimson Tide.
Crimson Tide of Dunbar.
Out of the eye, Lee hands off to the up back. That's Braxton. Braxton bulldozing his way across the 40. A pickup of about 7 or 8 yards. It'll be 2nd down and short.
I think they can smell it, Shelley. I'm looking down there. I think
they can do more than smell it. I think they can taste it.
I think Dunbar can smell it now, and Braxton is getting cranked up, and you don't want that big guy to get cranked up because he's been blocking all day and playing a solid game at defensive end. And right now, they look a little bit cranked up, and Anacostia look a little bit down.
It'll be 2nd down. Let's call it a long 2 coming up for the Crimson Tide. Again, out of the eye. Here's Lee making his call. Lee hands off to the up back again. Braxton again. Braxton pushing his way to the 45 and may have a 1st down. There's a flag on the play.
Oh, no.
And a very late flag. The Dunbar coaches here in the booth are upset about it.
I'm really surprised that McDaniels would do that. I'm really surprised that McDaniel would do that, being the athlete that he is. Braxton had already picked up the 1st down and was close to it, and it was a 1st down. McDaniels come up for no reason after the player's over and hit a man. You can't have that, even with a good athlete like McDaniels. That was a bad play.
And there you see the good guy in the white cap calling the dead ball personal foul against Dunbar. But since it's a dead ball penalty, Dunbar will still get the 1st down there. If I'm not mistaken, they'll just be backed up at about the 30-yard line.
No, I think they're gonna mark it and see whether or not it's a first down.
No, it's a dead ball penalty. It came after Dunbar got the first down, so it'll still be first down for Dunbar.
And then they walk it off.
They'll just back them up 15 yards.
Yeah. It'll be 1st and 25. You're right. No, but see, the thing about it was McDaniels was never supposed to be in that position because he was the tailback and he was behind the play, and Braxton had already passed through. So had he just stayed there, because he was not involved in it at all, he was the fake man off.
1st and 25, so Dunbar from their own 30-yard line. Clock is running, just under 6 minutes left in the ball game. And this time they give the ball to McDaniel.
No, that's not McDaniel.
I'm sorry, no. That is McDaniel.
No,
McDaniel.
That's 21.
Is it?
That's number 21, Nathaniel Brown. He's also a small guy, 5'6", 157 pounds, so they didn't lose any size by replacing McDaniel.
Sorry, Nate. I apologize. And we have a timeout on the play.
Well, there's 5 minutes and 43 seconds left for the Crimson Tide becomes the new crowned champion in the DCIAA.
The Coalition of Concerned Black Christian Men present their 3rd annual Pigskin Jamboree Workshop. The purpose is to introduce high school students, parents, and coaches to recruiters from numerous colleges and universities to discuss possible athletic scholarship offers or possible financial assistance. The place, the Camp Springs Senior Citizen Complex, Allentown and Brinkley Road in Camp Springs, Maryland. The time, Saturday, December the 12th, 1992, from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Participants, all area high school senior football players, coaches, and parents from Maryland, Virginia, and D.C. If you'd like for more information, call Fred Foster, 301-585-2106, or Andrew Edwards at 301-449-6782.
And you know, Shelley, he was up here talking to us earlier. He was mentioning some of the schools that was involved in the Jamboree, and sounds very exciting. That's something that all graduating seniors might want to participate in.
An encroachment penalty is going to be called against the Indians. That won't help out the Crimson Tide too much because they still are facing 2nd down and long. Only they'll have it now at the 35 as the rain gear comes back out again. Second down and 20 for Dunbar. Lee puts it on the ground.
Whoa, and
McDaniel is, or is that Brown? Brown is snubbed by Stubbs.
That's right. Stubbs shot through there like a cannon. That's Jimmy Stubbs. He's 6'2", 200 pounds. And he came through there with frustration and everything, you know, because he really leveled Nathaniel Brown.
And there's another timeout on the play. Or is there? 30-25. Yes, there is another TO on the play. Again, we remind our viewers to stay tuned to DCPS Cable 48. The basketball season is upon us, and we will start having some basketball games for you within the next couple of weeks. We will be on Wednesday nights at 8, possibly on Saturday afternoons at 1 o'clock as well. So make sure you stay tuned to DCPS Cable 48 for announcements of upcoming basketball games. 3rd down and long for the Crimson Tide. They need to get to the Anacostia 45 to be close to a first down. Little flip across the middle by Lee. It goes incomplete. It'll be 4th down and long. Little taunting by one of the Anacostia players, but the Dunbar players may end up having the last laugh if you don't watch it the way the score is right now.
Don't understand that taunting at all.
Phillips in the punt. Line drive kick. Takes a Dunbar bounce inside the 35. Still loose. Picked up at the 29. That's Anderson. Anderson cuts inside and is brought down at about the 32-yard line.
You know, Dunbar come in here and you think they hadn't been in here in years. They had the first game jitters like a lot of new teams coming in, a very young team. But they come in and they put a solid plan together. McDaniel's running tough. John Lee throwing the ball like he's supposed to. And now the offensive line of Dunbar is so huge, leading the way up and down the field. It's just something to behold. And like you said, Shelley, you did the research, and Dunbar now can be included in all of those teams that won a DCI AA title.
First down and 10 for the Indians from their own 31-yard line, let's call it. Davis looking to the near side, gets the pass away, and well overthrows Anderson, his intended receiver. It'll be second down and 10. You know, I talked to Coach. I talked to Coach Tucker before the game, and I talked to Keith Davis both before the game. I asked them both, would the rain or the dampness put a damper on their passing game either? Put a damper on their passing game any? Both of them said no, thoroughly, and obviously that has been a big problem for the Indians today, Coach. This time they completed to the 40-yard line. On the reception for the Indians, number 12, Michael Powell, one of the trees. Powell on his way to the University of Virginia. Gets close to the first down. It's going to be third down and short. Davis again out of the shotgun in a hurry-up offense. This time completes to Anderson. Anderson crossed the 45, midfield. He's off to the races and is finally brought down inside the Dunbar 40-yard line. Just before that pass, I was going to say Davis was 12 for 26 so far, 141 yards, but only one TD, 3 INTs. He was sacked twice so far, and still one fumble. Davis looking to go up top. He's got a man downfield inside the 15. It's deflected once and falls harmlessly to the ground. Again, he was looking for Powell, one of his trees.
And Singletary came by and almost picked it off. There's the 4-minute warning. Is that the 4-minute warning, or was that sorry taking someone out of it?
I think it's just a siren taking somebody out of here. Well, we are 3 minutes and 37 seconds away from history being made for the second consecutive year at Howard University's Green Stadium.
Chances do go around.
Davis is going to keep it himself, and this time he's going to be brought down by the kicker of all people, big number 53, Jamali Phillips. So Phillips is getting a piece of the action now.
He's a big kicker too, at 6 feet, 215 pounds, but he's also doubles as a linebacker.
Loss of about 4. It'll be third down and about 14 for the Indians. Clock is running, 3:10 remaining in the ball game. And now they're going to have a stoppage of play. Anacostia is calling a TO. You know, Coach, the interesting thing about this Anacostia-Dunbar matchup is that both teams are favored to win their respective divisions on the basketball court as well. Anacostia is favored to win the East in basketball. Dunbar is favored to win the West. So the winner of this football game right here can more or less have the inside track to having the bragging rights for all sports in the DCI AA this year.
That makes a lot of sense. And as you know, last year Anacostia won the football title, the basketball title, the track title, and a couple of other things.
They didn't win the football title last year.
Oh, they won the East Division City runner-up champions, and the basketball team won the basketball title over there with Coach Hargrove, who's doing a great job over there.
I can see my fellow Wilson alumni telling me, make sure he gets it right. Make sure he gets it right. Third down. Let's call it a long 13 for Keith Davis and his Indians. Davis, after drying off his hands, throws here to the near side. Unfortunately, the hands weren't so dry for Anderson, as Anderson had the ball in and out of his hands, and now it'll be fourth down. So the wet weather has put a little hamper on the Indians today, to say the least.
Well, Shelley, I don't think that Anacostia ever recovered from the first quarter. I think Dunbar came in here and jumped all over. McDaniels ran 74 yards on a touchdown, come right back and get another touchdown. Before you know it, it's 23 points before the halftime. I just don't think Anacostia recovered from that. And certainly it's showing there in the scoring.
Now Davis is going for all the marbles. It's caught. Touchdown, Anacostia High School. Number 12, Michael Powell from 40 yards out.
And see, that's one of the things I can't understand, because Anacostia have not gone that deep vertical the whole game. They've been throwing those short to medium range passes at 15 to 20 yards, and that's the type of thing that we expected from Anacostia, simply because they come in with the run and shoot. They got the big guys, and they can throw that ball. And I'm just surprised they have not thrown that ball over 50, 60 yards the number of times.
Hold your horses. There is a flag on the play.
That was after the fact. That'll be tacked on to the kickoff. That was to tackle him in the end zone. That'll be tacked on at the kickoff.
The dead ball penalty is unsportsmanlike against Dunbar. So the touchdown will stand. So Michael Powell gets the Indians their second TD of the game. Makes it now 23-12 Dunbar. They'll go for the 2. Davis looking to his left. Gets the pass away and is incomplete. And the score will stand at 23-12. So Michael Powell, although his team is not playing too well today, Michael Powell has been doing his fair share of work for the Indians in the losing cause. He now has 5 receptions for 101 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Listen at this, Shelly. That's 12 points with 2 minutes and 47 seconds left. If Anacostia come down here and get an onside kick, go in and score, they're 1 touchdown away from taking the lead in this ball game. So they're not out of this thing. And remember, and I say it time and time again, if Willie Stewart is close to you within a touchdown or a field game and there's time on the clock, never count him out.
Please report to the press box. Thank you.
You guys scored. Without reach.
So we got 2:47 left in the ball game. 23-12 in favor of the Crimson Tide. Dunbar trying to win their first ever football city championship. They're just 2-4-7 away.
Well, I'll tell you, Dunbar better have their hands team out there. And when I say hands team, that's when the coach make the adjustment and take all of the fumbling guys out and put wide receiver, defensive backs, people that used to handling the football. That's why they call it a hands team. And those people are looking for the onside kick. And coach would be pretty upset if he puts his hand team out there and he doesn't get the ball, because I'm almost so sure that Anacostia is going to try an onside kick.
The rains are starting to get a little bit heavier here at Green Stadium.
Well, we think, good Lord, that it held off.
Onside kick, and it's still live.
That's a live ball. That's a live ball.
And finally, somebody from Anacostia falls on it, and Dunbar will have it 1st and 10 from the Anacostia 37. I have only seen that once before. The Bayou Classic, 2 years ago. Southern tried an onside kick, and it went 8 yards backwards on the Louisiana Superdome artificial turf, more or less the same way it did on this Howard University artificial turf here, folks. First and 10 Dunbar, as it has really gotten heavy here, it being the rain. 1st and 10 Dunbar from the Anacostia 37, and all the Crimson Tide have to do is just run a couple of first downs, and that'll do it. They put the ball on the ground. McDaniel's not even running. McDaniel's just dropping back just to make sure that nobody fumbles the ball. It'll be 2nd down and 10 after no gain for the Crimson Tide. Again, they put the ball on the ground to Braxton. Braxton is popped hard after about a pickup of a deuce. It'll be 3rd down and 8.
You ask me, was the rain going to make a difference? I think it's going to make a big difference right now, because things are really going to get sloppy out there. Not in terms of looks, but slippery. And I think I can sing my song now. Turn out the light, party's over.
Third down and 8 for the Crimson Tide from the Anacostia 36-yard line. 38, I'm sorry. Under a minute left in the game. They put the ball on the ground to Braxton. Braxton pushing his way forward. He may have a first down depending on how they spot this. And here comes the Gatorade bucket. I think they got Coach Nunn already. And Coach, they really don't even need the Gatorade, as wet as it is. Inside 30 seconds, and the Dunbar fans starting to make a little noise. They sense victory upon them. Fourth down and 1, and Dunbar may not have to snap the ball. Well, they'll have to snap it one more time, and that'll be it. Dunbar will just let the clock run down. They make it a delay of game. Will they let the clock run out? 4, 3. Ladies and gentlemen, you are witnessing history. The Dunbar Crimson Tide have just won their first ever football championship at William H. Green Stadium by defeating the Anacostia Indians by a score of 23-12.
And I'll tell you something, it must be very gratifying for Coach Nunn, John Nunn, to come in here and, once coached at the University of D.C., head coach at Cardozo Senior High School, taking over for Luther Banner at Dunbar and leading the Crimson Tide to a victory here on Thanksgiving Day at Green Stadium, and the first championship for Dunbar in the history of the school after being here previously 4 times before and losing. And the last time they were here, they lost to the same Anacostia team by the score of 30-6, and that was back in 1983.
So last year, Wilson won their first ever city championship in the school's history. Now this year, Dunbar wins their first ever football city title. And so now, every school in the DCIAA West Division has won at least one city title. For the Indians of Anacostia, they lose their second consecutive championship bid. For Coach Willie Stewart, it's his second city title loss. The Indians have been to the city title game 4 of the last 5 years, but have only won twice. And so they'll go home as East Division champions.
But remember now, in this DCIAA championship game, there is no winners and there is no losers. Simply because both of these teams came in here winning their divisions, East and West, and they had fine football seasons. We'd like to say congratulations to all of the teams in the DCIAA and to all of the people in the athletic office and DC Public School, Dr. Frank Smith, and all those people for making this game possible. Simply because the people in the athletic department worked very hard over there with Dr. Alan Chen, Ms. Pat Briscoe, and Mr. Moulton, and all of the other folks over there that do a wonderful job of putting this game on each year and doing all the scheduling and things, setting it up throughout the year for our young people in the DCIAA. We'd like to say thanks for having us, me, along with Shelly, and I guess Shelly would say thanks for us because this is our last game of the season.
Yep, it sure is. So as you get a good look at the rain-drenched fans on the field celebrating a very exciting ball game. Coach, it's about that time of the game again. We got to select our most valuable player.
It's not even close. Give me McDaniels. It's not even close. I'll take McDaniels. And he must have had he already had 132 yards at halftime, so he must be up around 165 yards for the day. And he said in the papers yesterday that he will score over 100 yards, and every time Dunbar run him over 100 yards, they have been very victorious in winning the ball game.
So congratulations are in store to Rodney McDaniel, the 5'7", 155-pound senior running back, defensive back, for being selected as our most valuable player. We're going to try and grab Rodney and talk to he and hopefully Coach Nunn in a minute for our post-game show. So stay with us, and we'll take this quick TV timeout, and we'll be back in a minute. Stay with us.
After dating the guy forever, you think I could tell him anything. Why is it so hard? I'm really scared.
It takes a lot of guts to tell someone he's too drunk to drive. But you can do it. Just say it. Because if you don't, there may be nothing left to say.
Kevin, I'm gonna drive.
Take the keys, call a cab, take a stand. Friends don't let friends drive drunk.
Welcome back to Green Stadium on the campus of Howard University. The final score, the Dunbar Crimson Tide 23 and the Anacostia Indians 12. I'm Shelley Bowers Jr. along with my colleague Eddie Martin is the head coach of Anacostia, Willie Stewart. Coach, I think you summed it up best off camera. You said it seemed there was a time when you couldn't be beaten. All of a sudden, it seemed like you can't win them now.
Yeah, that's true, Shelley. And of course, that's because the teams that we playing are quality teams too. So makes it that much harder. You know. I live with it.
What was the difference in today's ball game as opposed to the first time that you all played Dunbar when you were victorious 20-6?
Well, basically what I was telling our guys, the team the Dunbar team we played in September is not the same Dunbar team in November. And of course, after beating them so convincingly the first time, it's sort of hard to tell kids that we got to work hard the second time around, and because they just don't believe. That's why I was so glad that we played Cardozo last week in the playoff, because they beat us so convincingly the first time, 14-0, and we were all focused. But this week was just entirely different. That was the biggest problem, trying to get the guys to realize that we had to play again this week. And it was a different Dunbar team from September than in November.
Eddie.
You know, Coach, like before we talked, and you were here what, 9 times? And 8 times. The record here is 6-2. Now, tell me something. You came out earlier. How did you feel when after you were down 2 touchdowns, after that miraculous run by McDaniels, you know, and then you come back and get that long touchdown pass thrown on? Your kids look at it, went into a daze. What did you say to them?
Yeah, it shocked us. Once we started our winning streak, you know, we trailed by 1 touchdown against H.D. Wilson. The rest of the games, I mean, we were out in front from the opening whistle until they ended. So, it was a gut check, Eddie. You know, for my guy, I told him at halftime, say, it's a gut check now, fella. You know, we can go 2 ways. We can go outside and complain and moan and groan, or we can take a step up and try to make it a ball game in the second half. And I was proud of the second half. We made it a ball game in the second half.
Now,
it was a shocker.
Like I told people in the booth, and you were here when you listened to the telecast, Willie Stewart, if he's close to you in the fourth quarter, he will beat you. You know, and you almost had a chance there. The score got as close as 23-12.
Yeah.
How did you feel with 2 minutes and 47 seconds left? Did you think you had a chance?
No, I needed a 5th quarter basically, but I was just glad we made it a game in the second half, because we didn't play that well the first half, and but again, that's because we was playing the Dunbar team, you know, the true city champ.
You know, they kept a lot of pressure on Keith Davis all day. He never had a chance to get his feet set to throw. He was throwing a lot on the run. Did you do anything different on the offensive line in the second half to try to combat that?
Well, I just decided we'll close down the splits in the line and let him sprint out more to one side, and to avoid the heat on the backside. But Eddie, you know how quarterbacks are. They're great when they can step back in the pocket and just stand there and throw the ball. But it's rough when you got the dogs on your heels, and so he was pretty erratic when he got that pressure. But like I said, he's a competitor, so he'll bounce.
Well, like I said, there was no really losers in this game, and you're a champion, and your guys will be back. I know your team, especially since that 2 playoff system, you'll always be in here, because your team has always been 1 or 2.
But look here, but my team won though.
No, listen.
I'm a Dunbar graduate, so my team won.
No, but listen what I'm saying. The system is set up that you will always be in the playoffs as long as you're coaching, because I have never known your team to never be out of 1 or 2. Am I right?
That's true. And basically, Robert Riches and Bob Head and myself and Jim Fields got together and said a lot of times a team that loses 1 game in the division ends up playing real strong at the end of the season, but because they lost 1 early, the season's over. So we said, let's give the second place team some type of reward for playing through the season once they lose a game. So I hope that if I can't get first, I just work hard to be second.
Coach, it's been a pleasure watching you all year, man.
Always,
and look forward to seeing you next year. And
great. You too, Shelley. Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure you guys. Thanks for having me, guys.
No problem. Congratulations again are in store to head coach Willie Stewart at Anacostia. They finished their year at 9-3, coming into the ball game ranked number 16. Unfortunately, they'll drop, but still in all, though, Coach, they had a fine season.
Hey, you can't say enough about Coach Willis Stewart and the Anacostia Indians. They're always in a ball game, never out of a ball game. It's just the turning of the tide. You know, if chances go around, Dunbar been here 5 times. This is their 5th try, and they won a title. They've been here 4 times before with Luther Banner, and unfortunately, they lost 4 times. Last time they were here, they lost 30-6 to Anacostia, the same team. So, you know, chances go around, and it's just fortunate that they come in under Coach John Nunn, who's a fine coach with a fine program in, and they won the ball game. And it was a very exciting ball game.
My man Ben said it best. He said that Coach Willie Stewart will be back.
Oh, yeah. 1 or 2, he's always 1 or 2, so you know he's always be back every year. Whether he win or not, you know, it'd be up to that particular.
We're going to take a quick TV timeout, and we're going to come back and talk to the winning staff from Dunbar High School. Stay with us.
Honey, it's Mom. Please let me in. I'm worried.
Learn to see the signs of mental illness. 2 out of 3 people who get help get better. For a free booklet, call the National Mental Health Association.
Again, welcome back to William H. Green Stadium on the campus of Howard University. I'm Shelley Bowers Jr. along with my colleague Eddie Martin. This time is head coach John Nunn from Dunbar, and our most valuable player, Rodney McDaniel, from Dunbar as well. And Rodney, let me throw this at you. You had 22 carries, 155 yards, 1 TD, climaxed by that 74-yard first play from scrimmage. What was a little bit different in this game as opposed to when you all played Anacostia this year, earlier this year?
Well, it wasn't much different. You know, I think we came out better prepared for this game, mentally and physically, and we just did the job.
Coach, this is Dunbar's first ever football city title. What part of the year did you feel that, hey, this is a nice nucleus of kids I got, we can fool around and win this whole thing this year?
Well, I think from the start, I knew we had a lot of experienced players and at camp, and I think I really knew that we had something special when I played our first game. So we played Bluefield High School in Bluefield, West Virginia, and we really played them tough. So I knew we had something special going.
Eddie?
You know, Rodney, I'd like to say congratulations. I had you last week. You play out the way. You're going to have all of our shirts. And good thing we have all your games. Or you will have all of our T-shirts, because this year you was absolutely spectacular. You had, over 1,400 yards as a rushing. Going to be an all-metropolitan running back, and I don't see why not. But when you started today and they hit you 5 times on the second carry to play and you went 74 yards, what's running through your mind?
Well, at that point, I'm thinking my line, you know, blocking for me, doing a good job like they've been doing all year. My wide receivers blocking, and that's left me, so I couldn't let my team down, keep running, moving my feet. I took the ball, 74 yards, touchdown.
Now, last week when you were playing against Ballou, you ran over 2 guys going into the end zone. And when we had a little conversation, I was saying, look, man, you're 5'7", 155. You can't be running over those big guys like that. And you said to me what?
I'm just as tough as they are. You know, they can't stop me. That's the, you know, mentality you got to have.
Well, I'll tell you something. You're a fine running back, and we appreciate having you and watching you run around like that. And it's just amazing to me, man, to see you run over them big guys like that. And, hey, congratulations on being our most valuable ball player for the game. And, Coach, you know, you and I have been together a long time. You owe me a jacket. You gave me a hat. I'm still be waiting for it. This time, hopefully, I have championship on city title on the back. But now, I talked to Sam earlier in the season. Sam was on the show with Shelley and I was just saying, Sam, what do you have down Dunbar? Sam said to me, I said, you're not talking? He said, I knew people were in trouble then, because Sam was not giving away any information at that particular time. Then you went up and played St. Albans, and McDaniels here scored, you had 206 yards rushing, 135 yards on reception, something like that. And St. Albans coach made a statement, said, this is a special guy, quick as a cat. At that particular time, did you say, I'm going to build my offense around McDaniels, or just what am I going to do between him and Braxton, and just what?
Well, we've been a running team the last few years. Last couple of years, we had backs with close to 1,000 yards, and Rodney just stepped in. You know, when it was time to give it to him, and you know, with the people blocking for him and the kind of attitude he has and approach to making it happen, it just sort of fell in place.
Well, we know you coached at the University of D.C. You were head coach up at Cardozo. This must be very sweet for you coming down Dunbar, following a legend in Luther Banner, and been down there for 8 years. And after Luther been there 4 times, coming up with your first title ever at Dunbar in football. It must be very gratifying. I'd like to say congratulations. And I look forward to having both of you on Sports Play. And, you know, and we'll be contacting you about that. All right? Thank you.
All right, Coach and Rodney, we know you got to jet to the trophy ceremony. So before we leave, I just want to give Rodney his Most Valuable Player Award. Usually we give out the KISS T-shirt. This time we give you a sweatshirt, man, since it's that time of the year. So congratulations to you, Rodney.
What size? Last time I told you it was a large. Yeah, this could fit you. This is a baby large.
Coach Nutt, congratulations once again. Rodney, congratulations to you. We'll see you in the All-Star game, I'm sure.
Yeah. Congratulations.
So there you have it, Coach Nunn, head coach John Nunn, and Rodney McDaniel, our most valuable player from the Dunbar Crimson Tide. Again, the final score is 23-12 in favor of Dunbar. The Crimson Tide clinched their first ever city title in the school's history, Coach.
Well, I'd like to say, Shelley, that the season is over for us now. Dunbar is the city title winners, and they played a good game today. McDaniels, 22 carries, 150 yards. Like I say, John Nunn is building a program at Dunbar. You know, it's just unfortunate that one of these teams have to win. Both of them are fine coaches and fine schools. But we take our hat off to Dunbar, and they did exactly what they were supposed to do, and we're just happy to be a part of it. History-making process.
That's right. That's right. Second year in a row that we've been a part of history.
That's right, yeah.
All right, well, Coach, I want to thank you again for another fine season, man.
All right, man, and put the check in the mail. I look to have it by next week.
Man, if you were wondering why we couldn't get him talking earlier today, he kept staring at this check up there in the press box. I was like, come on, man, say something, man. Get your eyes off the check.
Well, everything's fine now. I enjoy being paid, and I like doing what I'm doing.
Hey, listen.
It's been great.
We've had a ball, y'all. It's been real, and we look forward to seeing you all next year during the football season. But make sure you stay tuned to DCPS Cable 48 because we will have some basketball games for you. So, on behalf of again, I got to thank Gus Johnson for filling in for me. I'd like to thank McConan and Greg and Kay, the entire staff at DCPS Cable 48 for all the help they've done. I'd like to say a special thank you to William Gray at DCTV. For all you've done for us as well. And we look forward to seeing you down the line. I'd like to say a special, yeah, Coach.
Oh, yeah, before we go too far, don't forget to watch Sports Play on Channel 48 with Eddie Martin, and we'll have some of the people from the DCIAA basketball as well as the football coming up.
I'd like to say a special thank you to Joseph Ankrum, my camera operator, Ricardo Smith, who had to leave early for his other job, my other camera operator, to Gary Williams, who was with us at the start of the season, and to my mother. Oh, my brother, yeah. Mi mother and me brother. My brother, David, who was down in New Orleans, left me hanging here. He's down there for the Bayou Classic between Grambling and Southern, which you all have already seen on NBC by the time you've seen this. Let's see who else. Did I miss anybody else? Janelle, for that one game.
Well, thank everybody, because it's raining out.
All right, then. Thanks, everybody. So on behalf of the entire Shell Shock Productions crew, I am Shelly Bowers Jr. We look forward to talking with you again soon. Until then, have a good night, what's left of it, and make it a better day tomorrow. Congratulations, Dunbar Crimson Tide.
Peace.